Stadium, Saturday, November the 11th, 2012. It's Saturday night playoff football. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to LSC's broadcast of the playoffs here at Darling Stadium, where we'll be showing you Western Branch and the Bethel Bruins tonight. I'm Paul Rowe along with Frank Edgar. We've got Bob Hins down on the field and Brent Musgrove doing the stats for us tonight. Frank, a game against the Peninsula District School and the Southeast. How are these two teams going to compare tonight? We haven't seen a whole lot of Western Branch.
Well, we haven't seen Western Branch in a while. In fact, Western Branch has not seen the playoffs since 2008 when they were defeated by these same Bethel Bruins 21-7 in that playoff game. They had a couple of down years. They are back now under the new head coach, Greg Gibson, who came over from Norview this past year. We're going to hear a little bit from him soon. And they ride the back of Josh Mariner, a great running back, headed to University of Connecticut. Mariner carries the ball a lot of times out of that double wing offense they run. So you're going to hear a lot about Josh Mariner. On the other side of the ball tonight, you're going to hear a lot about Ricky Walker in a different role than Mariner's role. Walker, of course, the guard for the offensive guard and defensive tackle for the Bruins. Mariner for Western Branch named the Offensive Player of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. Walker, the Defensive Player of the Year in the Peninsula District.
So it should be a good, tough game out there tonight. And again, it's going to be a running game. We were here last night for the Phoebus Heritage Game, showcasing two of the top runners in the Peninsula District. And again, we're going to have two top runners coming to us from both Bethel and Western Branch. So right now, let's go ahead and take it down to Brent Musgrove on the sideline, where he's got the coach from Western Branch, and we'll see what he feels about tonight's game.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Western Branch head coach Greg Gibson. Coach, first let me say this, congratulations. You came over from Norview this year. This is your first year, and you took a program that last year was 4-6 to 8-2 this year, and here we are in the playoffs and first round. So that's quite an accomplishment in itself right there. But before we get into tonight's game, I want to ask you about a couple of key players. Of course, everybody over here has been reading the paper about some of these people, but let's talk a little about your wingback, 1,900 yards, Josh Mariner. Tell us a little bit about him.
He's just outstanding young man. He's a 3-year starter for the program. Actually had a catastrophic leg injury his sophomore year, and was set to be the starter as a sophomore, and so came back from that. It was placed third in the state in the indoor 55-meter track, event. And, he can block, he can run, he's fast, he's aggressive, he's a great, team leader, team captain. The guys rally around him. He's our true leader, and he's one heck of a kid off the field. So he's the whole package, and UConn's getting themselves one heck of a running back.
So he leads both by example and verbally, get those guys to follow the team, do what they're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he, like, for example, is that we lift hard the day before the games, and, he's in the weight room box squatting 600 pounds for reps. He's a 5'9", 200-pound ball of dynamite, so, when the kids are in there watching him squat 600 pounds for reps, is that it's motivational, so he leads by his words, by his example, and by the way he plays out here on the field.
Well, thank you. Let's go a little bit on defense. You got a young man by the name of, I think, KT Holland. Is that Holland? Is that right? Yeah, KJ Holland. He's got 87 solo tackles and 8 sacks, and he's playing middle linebacker, I believe.
Right, 87 total tackles. Yeah, I believe he's got 53 solo tackles. But he's another one that leads not only on the field, but with his words, with his actions in the weight room, out on the field as a heart and soul of the defense. He's all over the field. We blitz him. He scrapes over the top. He plays sideline to sideline. As you can see with his statistics, he's got, I believe, 19 hurries, too, on the quarterback on top of his 8 sacks. And just, like I said, the heart and soul of the defense, and just had an outstanding year and an outstandanding leader and captain on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, I was looking at your defensive 11. And I only see 3 guys over 200 pounds in there. So are we talking? Your defense is based on quickness and going to the ball. Is that right?
Oh yeah. So we run a 3-3 stack, and so we're based on speed. We've got, like I said, we've got our our defensive line are numbers 22, 12, and 20. So we've got the speed, and we use that quickness to our advantage.
Can you compare Bethel to any teams on your side so we might be able to identify if we've seen them? Is anybody over there that reminds you of Bethel at all?
Grassfield a little bit, because Grassfield likes to run the ball and play stout defense, and watching the film with against the opponents that they played is that not the exact similar styles and stuff, but just as far as the type of team, good, sound, hard-hitting defense, and a team that likes to, get back there and run the rock. So I would say if I had to compare a team, they're similar to Grassfield. So they're an outstanding squad, well coached, and a lot of good players out there. Including number 50. He's quite a defensive lineman they got.
Well, you may have just answered part of my last question, but do you expect anything unusual or different from Bethel tonight that you may not have seen before?
Everybody puts little wrinkles in come playoff time, so I expect to see a few wrinkles in their offense, a few wrinkles in their defense. But, they're going to do what they do best, and we're going to do what we do best, and it's going to be one heck of a football game. It's going to come down to who can execute the best and not turn the ball over. I believe is going to end up being the team that wins the football game tonight.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank your entire staff, the people in your office over at the school. They helped me tremendously get all this stuff together. Congratulations and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
And thanks. We'll get you a copy of this. Okay, guys, back up to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brent, and thank you, Coach Gibson. We appreciate it very much. Frank, Bethel had a really interesting year this year, a very good year, as a matter of fact. Tell us a little bit about this new Bethel team that we're seeing tonight.
Well, we talked about them early on. We got to broadcast a couple of games early in the year and saw what Coach Hooker's been able to do at Bethel with his new scheme. We've seen a lot more running this year, kind of old school Bethel football. A lot of reliance on the running back. Jihad Hudson, Brian Moore, Demetrius Dinkins together have over 1,600 yards. So the three of them are going to close to equaling what Josh Mariner does. And the compliment that Coach Gibson just gave Bethel, if Bethel looks like Grassfield beat Western Branch 38-7 early this year. So let's hope Bethel does resemble Grassfield tonight.
And I'm crossing my fingers with you, too. I want Bethel to do real well. My tongue is tied tonight. I don't know what it is. All right, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go down on the field, and we're going to go to Bob Hintz, where he has the coach from the Bethel Bruins, and he'll tell us a little bit about his feelings for tonight's game.
Thanks, guys. I've got Coach Hooker with me. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations. Division Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. Tremendous honor, but just not a coach. It's a lot of people involved.
Oh, right. It's like we told our players, it says Coach of the Year, but it's really Team of the Year. And that starts with Mr. Saunders, the principal, and Mr. Kaysen, the assistant principal in charge of athletics and football, and then Mr. Smith, our athletic director, on down to all the coaches, all the players, custodian, and the teachers, too. I mean, the teachers at our school are amazing that they'll stay behind and tutor anybody that wants to have tutoring. And we're making sure our football players take advantage of that as opposed to just, not doing it. I mean, if a teacher's willing to take their time to stay around and help you, then there's no reason for you not to take advantage of it. So right. It's obviously winning helps, but our kids are doing a good job. If we were 2-8, the sun's still going to come up the next day. So we always tell them win, lose, or draw, compete, play your best for 48 minutes, and be happy about it.
Right. Well, that was a good honor for you. But let's talk a little bit about your co-captains. Let's talk about Nick.
Nicholas Clark, number 20, got elected co-captain after our last game, and he's had several scholarship offers, Coastal Carolina, and I think Morgan and Bowie and Norfolk State. So he's got some choices. He's a good kid, good student. Both his brothers are playing college football. One's at Randolph-Macon, I believe, and the other one's at Delaware.
Okay. Well, and your other one is a junior, and we're talking about Ricky Walker. Yeah. And the young man's got some some honors himself.
Ricky is very talented, very competitive. His brother plays at the University of Virginia, but Ricky was first team offensive guard, first team defensive tackle, and then player of the year. And, he's gotten offers. I kidded the secretary at our school. I said, just take my name off the box and put Ricky Walker in there and let him come in here and get all his mail. Keep me from having to come up here and get it.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about Stephon Paris.
Stephon is one that our coaches feel good about. We don't do most improved at our banquet. We don't do most valuable player. Basically we award certificates for participation, and then we award certificates for everybody with a 3.0 or better.
Fantastic.
From a grade standpoint, but Stephon has improved, and not to say that he was a bad football player, but he's a whole lot happier person, and several of our football players are a whole lot happier human beings, and it's good when we get emails from teachers saying that so and so has turned it around, or so and so is doing better in class, and we appreciate the help you did with so and so. But they have to make those choices. We can only give them an opportunity, and they have to choose to do it or choose not to do it. And we try to tell them, look, you choose to be a part of the team. These are the guidelines you're going to follow.
Well, and I loved your study hall right after school. I think that says a lot for the program and what you're trying to accomplish.
I think our winter sports, basketball, wrestling, indoor track, and swimming are going to like our study hall too, because now, if the varsity is still playing, obviously things will be different. But the junior varsity, they'll start study hall, restart study hall again the first Monday after Thanksgiving, November 26th, I believe. And then we'll go from 3:20 till 4 o'clock, and then they'll lift weights from 4:30 to 6:30.
All right. Well, Coach, one last question. I know you've watched some film on Western Branch. Who do they compare to that you have played this year?
We watched a lot of film on Western Branch, and they're a very good football team, well coached, well disciplined. They're a combination of Woodside, because Woodside runs a wing tee and Western Branch runs a double wing, and they don't have the splits that Woodside has, but they still runs the old school single wing, but they don't have the quarterback shotgun and the spinner back. And defensively, they try to do the same thing that Lake Taylor did, as far as locking you down man to man and just bringing the house kind of deal. So it should be a good football game. Our kids are excited about it. We're happy to be back in the playoffs, but again, like we tell them, we're going to compete for 48 minutes and hopefully we win. But if we don't, we're still going to get up and go to church and go to school on Monday.
Good. Well, congratulations again on your award, and good luck tonight, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good enough. All right, guys, let's go back up to you.
All right. Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Coach. We appreciate that very much. Bethel High School, I really like what this coach is doing. He has really turned things around, but it helps when you have some good kids, and he's got them. You've got Jackson, you got Jaheed Hudson, you got Justin Blue, you got Ricky Walker, you got Nicholas Clark. We can just go on and on. Sweetenberg, Killebrew. These kids are really good kids. Tell me about some of these guys.
Well, they've certainly, the whole team has bought into the system.
Yes.
And bought into the study hall routine, and I think it's helped them a great deal to bring them together. If you remember, a couple of years ago, Coach Hooker started bringing them in ahead of the fall practice, and they would have a camp out in school and kind of get to know each other. And I think it's really helped this group to bring them together. Bethel comes in perceived as the underdog, but they have only lost 2 games this year, and neither of the 2 teams that beat them have lost a game yet.
That's correct.
I think Bethel's got a good shot tonight. They're on their home turf. Let's see what they can do.
All right. Well, right now, let's go back down on the field. Let's talk to Brent and Bob as we wrap up the interviews downstairs.
Thanks again, guys. Well, Bob, here we are, playoffs, and a couple of teams that could be very, very interesting tonight. When you get looking at the paperwork and everything, you're looking at 2 teams that almost a mirror image in a lot of ways.
You look at them, and you got number 4 seed, number 5 seed playing, so it's got to be a good game. There's not going to be blowouts like we had last night with both Hampton and Phoebus just winning real big. But these teams, interesting that is good comparison. You're saying this mirror image. They're both big. They're both physical. They both want to keep the ball out of the other team's hands. So it's going to be interesting.
What I really find unique, it's more of a comparison you believe. These 2 teams both have new coaches this year, head coaches. Both this is their first year being totally head coach. They both come out here 8-2, and here they are facing each other in the playoffs 4-5. And when you stop and look at what do they count on, Well, Western Branch rides this big running back of theirs, 205 pounds, third in the state according to the coach in the 55-yard dash to 18, almost 1,900 yards. But you look at Bethel, they got two small guys, one 145 pounds. It's like a little mosquito in the water. He just runs everywhere.
A little jitterbug. You get behind those big linemen, and it's going to be hard to see him. But, you know, what I like about the comparison is both first-year coaches, and both of them have a lot of experience. Your coach, Gibson, coming from North Carolina, from California, was down there for 19 years before he came out here. Hooker did a lot of college coaching before he ended up here at Bethel High School. And they both bring a sense of maturity to the program that the kids have bought into. I know they have at Bethel, and I'm sure they have over Western Branch too. They wouldn't have had as good a year. But it's going to be interesting to see who can control the line of scrimmage, because you're talking about mirror image here.
Well, let me just give you a couple of facts. I was going down the stats. If you look at Western Branch's defensive front from tackle to tackle, they averaged 245 pounds on offense. On offense.
How about Bethel?
They got two running backs that are over 200 pounds in the backfield.
Wow.
So, and the kid that's the number one runner, he's 205.
And going to UConn.
And the kid that's the fullback is 235. So they're throwing a lot of hoss at you on that line. And Bethel's not quite that big, but Bethel's got a lot of 200-pound guys too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And the other thing that amazes me about Western Branch, I'll finish this up. They run from multi-offenses. Not only do they run from the double wing, as they call it, they run from what they call the spread triple option, and then they bring in another quarterback, and they'll run that crazy thing that they do on college all the time.
So called the Wildcat.
Wildcat. Yeah, they'll bring that in with a different quarterback. So Bethel's had to do a lot to prepare for this tonight.
Yeah, and when you're going against the triple option, there's a lot of keys that you've got to teach your kids to look for. The Bruin coaches have done a good job with them all year long, and I look for them to do that, but it's not going to be a runaway for each one of these teams. I think it's going to be a close game, and I know that they're going to find out where Ricky Walker is, Defensive Player of the Year on the Peninsula District. So, you know, they've got people they got to look out for, too.
Well, let me end up by saying, gosh, it's a great night for football. Couldn't be any better. And why don't you take it over and send it up for the people?
The last thing I want to say again, we'll talk about both of these teams. I think the coaches have done a great job with both of them. All right, we want you to stay tuned for tonight's corporate sponsors.
Today's game is sponsored by the Grey Goose Restaurant, located on West Queensway in Hampton. Enjoy a wide selection of breakfast and lunch dishes, sure to please your appetite. Follow the Grey Goose Restaurant on Facebook, the restaurant that is also a bakery. Smith Brothers Funeral Home of Hampton is located in Phoebus, has been serving the community since 1862. Smith Brothers are here to serve your needs. The funeral director is Andrew T. Smith, Jr. Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point, Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports is your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. Today's game is sponsored in part by the attorneys at Kaufman & Knowles, with offices in Hampton on Cunningham Drive across from Peninsula Town Center and in Newport News at City Center. Kaufman & Knowles. We can and we will. Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home inside and out. Eric Thompson Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3172 or email him at eric@findhrhomes.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at Darling Stadium, Bethel and Western Branch. We're about to have the kickoff. Western Branch is going to receive. Bethel will be kicking off. They'll be moving right to left. Will be Western Branch. It's a short kick. It'll be picked up on the far sideline, cuts across, trying to get back to the middle, where he's tackled very quickly at about the 30-yard line.
Looked like Corey Gray with the catch out there, but didn't get a yard. As the Western Branch machine is going to come out and start on its own 30. We saw Josh Mariner deep on the kickoff that time, and Bethel didn't want anything to do with kicking him the ball.
Yeah, not at all. And that was number 3, Casey Pretlow, I think, on that kickoff there, which was kind of surprising for me. There you see the Bruins on the sideline. Western Branch with their, what you would call a wing. The quarterback, C.J. Thomas.
Right there.
Cross play, and Bethel smells that one and drops the runner in the backfield. That looks like number 28, and that would be Dante Shepard, and he's met by the defense of the Bruins.
Starting lineup here for the Western Branch Bruins: Michael Cagle, Thomas Coleman, Chris Myers, Malcolm Kennedy, and Cody Stoom up front for the Western Branch. The receivers: wingback Josh Mariner, Dante Shepard, tight ends Chris Hancock and T.J. Booth. The quarterback is C.J. Thomas, and the fullback Ronnie Gardner.
C.J. Thomas with the flip to number 22. That's Mariner. He takes off over the right tackle. He gets a few yards, and he'll be down at about the 35-yard line for Western Branch.
Like Ricky Walker wrapped him up there and hung on long enough to drag him down. Ricky, of course, the Defensive Player of the Year in the Peninsula District this year, and deservedly so.
Yeah, we have called his name and seen him do a job throughout the year here at Darling Stadium. So that I applaud that decision right there.
Just a junior, too, Paul.
Yes. From the wing formation, C.J. Thomas under center. He flips it to number 22, Mariner, and once again, he's going off the right side. He hits the seam. He's able to find a crease. He's upfield and fighting for yardage near the 50. He'll get to about the 47.
Brought down by 8 Bruins that time. They took a lot to bring him down. Let's meet those Bethel defense here. Up front for Bethel: Evan Scott, Javon Smith, Todd Barker, and Ricky Walker. The linebackers: Javon King, Casey Pretlow, Brian Moore, and Stefan Paris. And in the backfield, Corey Sweetenberg and Justin Blue in the corners. Nick Clark, the missile, they're back there at safety.
What a great job he does back there, too. I tell you what, love to see that kid play.
He's going to have to target Mariner here most of the time.
C.J. Thomas handing off to number 36, Ronnie Gardner. He'll take over a few yards right up the middle.
For the folks at home watching this, it is hard to watch the wing. If you're not used to it, it's hard to pick up where the ball. It's almost one of those shell games, and it's tough for the defense to pick up where the handoff is going to be made. That time, Bethel did a nice job of identifying Gardner and bringing him down.
And they play a real tight wing there, too, Frank, a real tight. A lot of misdirection there. This time it goes to number 22, Mariner, and he breaks upfield for some nice yardage and a first down for Western Branch as they continue to move upfield.
If we see that on replay, you'll see just how close Mariner follows the lead block. I mean, literally right on his backside. Look at him right behind 76. That's Michael Cagle leading the way. Brought down by Stefan Paris, finally.
That's some nice running right there. Real nice. Once again, staying in that wing formation, Thomas under center. Look at Mariner go. He just doesn't stop moving, does he? A lot of misdirection that time. The ball went to the left. Mariner got hit quickly, but he may get a yard. We'll see.
Corey Sweetenberg seemed to smell that one out and able to get a hold of Mariner. The Bruins are going to have to wrap him up early because he gets in the open field, and as strong as he is, he's hard to bring down on the run.
35. Timeout. Bethel.
And real quickly here with 9 minutes, 2 seconds left in the first quarter, Bethel's going to go ahead and take a timeout. Western Branch doing nothing but positive yardage since they took the ball on the opening kickoff.
We see the official out there, Alan Denton, is indicating the timeout. He's joined on his team tonight by some other Peninsula District officials. Bill Allen's the umpire. Sergio Jimenez, the linesman. Frank Burton is the line judge. Renard Whitfield is the side judge. Ivy Allen, the field judge, and Kenny Hayes is the back judge tonight.
And those are from
Peninsula District.
I think last night we had from the Southeast, if I'm not mistaken.
And we had Southeast from districts, Peninsula District at Todd last night for Hampton and Norcom. So the Peninsula District 2-0 so far in this playoff season.
Keep your fingers crossed, Frank. Keep your fingers crossed.
Trying to keep that. Of course, they have to play each other next week, Paul, so you're going to lose one.
I know. And that frustrates me a little bit. I wish we could set it up to where they could meet in the finals.
I think Lake Taylor is very pleased not to have to face either one of them next week.
C.J. Thomas brings his team, Western Branch, up to the line. Looks like he was going to keep it there.
Well, he's mauled the line.
It was 22. He finally did give it to Mariner. Looked like he was going to keep it himself.
Thomas is quite a good quarterback. He's got 13 touchdowns through the air, but as you can see, his main gift is being able to get that handoff to Mariner or to Gardner and making a deceptive handoff. Here we got a split in for the first time.
Got to be kind of like a magician out there. This one is going to number 28, Dante Shepard. He's going to come to the near side and pick up a few yards.
Shepard's another back that has made his mark in the Southeastern District this year. Mariner now with 4 carries, 31 yards so far on this one drive.
Tell you, with that single wing, these guys just keep coming at you and keep coming at you and keep coming at you. And I just love that tight formation. Like you said, they follow the blocks tightly. He's going back to pass this time. He's got a little bit of time now. He's flushed out of the pocket, but he's got plenty of running room. He'll get knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, so he's going to pick up the first down.
Good speed by Casey Pretlow trying to cut him off, but not in time as the Western Branch Bruins pick up another first down. See, the whole side is open on the left, and Thomas picks that up immediately.
Looks like he got just pressured too much and couldn't set up like he wanted to, but like you said, Frankie, that young man's got some good speed.
Very, very good speed. He's quite a quarterback, and in this system, again, his main goal is to get that ball to the backs and in a way that it makes it tough for the defense to pick up where the ball's going to be.
Yeah, that quite frankly surprised me, the pass right there. There he goes with a quick flip. That goes to, guess who, number 28, Dante Shepard again.
Shepard and Mariner going back and forth here, making it tough for Bethel to key on one or the other.
Well, Shepard appears to be going left, and Mariner goes right. So here you see Shepard.
Shepard has 8 touchdowns on the year, 408 yards coming into tonight. He's carried it 62 times, so about a third of the times that Mariner carries it.
Yeah, I would think with the yardage that Mariner has, he would get a lot of carries. There it is, to number 28 again. Shepard coming to the left side again.
Good stick out there by Stephon Paris again. He's helped over there by Nick Clark. Clark is playing a pretty deep safety, which is probably smart here in the first drive, trying to gauge C.J. Thomas's ability to throw the ball. So far, he's shown only a little interest in doing that.
Yeah, right now they're having a lot of success with running the ball left, right, left, right, left, right. I would assume they're going to continue with that. They spread out the wing this time. It'll go once again to number 28, Shepard. He stopped this time and never could make the crease. Goes inside, picks up maybe a yard.
But enough to think for the first down. So Shepard getting a lion's share of carries, at least in this part of the drive. Picks his way through there. Nice run by Shepard.
Yeah, they are really following those blocks right up tight.
Well, you heard Coach Hooker say they've watched a lot of film on his wing. Now they go to a more traditional set.
Now you got a single back, and the flip goes to him, and that's Mariner. He's got a lot of room on that right side. He gets inside the 5-yard line, and Bethel finally brought him down, or he was going to go all the way.
A lot of speed shown out there by Mariner. For a man that can squat press 600 pounds, those legs move pretty fast.
Yeah, when I heard that, I couldn't believe he pressed that much. Good gracious.
Big young man. UConn's going to be a very lucky school to have him.
Yeah, they are. Now, what were they saying in the last 2 games? He had 300-some yards in one game, 200-some in another.
Yeah, I think actually one of the games he had 400-some.
Over 600 yards. And here it goes to him, 22, Mariner. He's trying to get to the outside. He does, and he gets into the end zone. And the Western Branch Bruins are going to put points on the board first here at Darling Stadium.
Bethel did a nice job stretching that play out. A missed tackle right there inside the 5 allowed Mariner to slip across the goal line. And look at that flip, follows his line around, big number 76. Then he decides to go outside. There's a miss right there on the corner. And Western Branch on the board first here in this ball game.
Number 32 for the Western Branch Bruins, the kicker's Brady Schomburg. He gets that kick up, and it is good. So Western Branch takes the lead 7-0 with 5:24 left in the first quarter here at Darling Stadium.
Nothing fancy, but very effective from Western Branch. And Bethel, I thought Bethel recognized the ball carrier well. They're just going to get a little more physical on the line. There's some big tight ends. Brent was talking earlier about the size difference between the lines. Some of the center part of the line is not as big as these big tight ends.
And there you can see some of it there. You got some good blocks from the right side blocking down, and it's just really working for them. Right now, let's go down on the field and talk to Bob Hintz. Bob, what are you at down there?
All right, guys, listen. That touchdown run, he got behind the lineman, and they couldn't see him until he got outside, and it was too late. The guy's got some great speed, but Nicholas Clark is really doing a great job coming up from his defensive back position and making some good hits. I can see why he was picked one of the co-captains.
Yeah. He's a good young player, no question about that.
Long drive that time. Ball control being displayed by Western Branch. 14 plays, 70 yards. And with 6 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock for Western Branch, Mariner now with 8 carries, 45 yards.
Killebrew back deep for the Bethel Bruins. Western Branch will kick toward him. He'll take it at the 10. Comes upfield to the 15, 20, heads to the sideline. Can't find an opening. Dances, goes back the other way. Spun around by the tacklers, and is finally going to be stopped somewhere around the 26-yard line.
That's going to cost it. Number 8 for Western Branch has picked up 15 more yards for Bethel. A little extra shove in there. William Thompson, senior for Western Branch, is going to be flagged, I believe. I saw the yellow flag come out.
Number 89, Dominic Frere.
Oh, it's going to be against Bethel.
I saw him shove the runner back down on the ground, but it must have been something ahead of that. No, he miscalled it. He miscalled it. Yeah, I don't know if the camera works. Stephen Fryer practically in the tackle himself, right on top of the play.
Dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st and 10, Bethel.
I think if we stayed with the shot, you'll see he shoves him as he was trying. The runner was trying to get back up, shoved Killebrew back down.
All right, Bethel now with the ball for the first time in this game. The quarterback, Trey Jackson, number 2. He's got Hudson and number 35, Brian Moore, behind him, along with Justin Blue. Looks like it went to Jihad Hudson, and he'll go off the left side for about a yard.
Jihad Hudson, honorable mention all Peninsula District this season. Had a little foot trouble earlier in the season. Here's the offense for the Bruins. Mark Maddock, Ricky Walker, Grant Wilson, Javon Smith, and Josh Jones up front. Tight end is Turner Paxton, and wide receivers Alexander Wilson and Corey Sweetenberg. And the running backs, Jihad Hudson and Justin Blue. The quarterback, Trey Jackson.
And that's the squad that comes up to the line of scrimmage. Trey Jackson, number 2 under center. Behind him is number 35, Brian Moore. Back to pass. He's hit hard as he releases the ball, and it is incomplete upfield. And Trey Jackson took a shot when he released that ball, Frank.
Well, I think that's the way that Bethel's going to have to defeat him. As you can see, what did Coach Gibson say, a 3-3 stack defense. But you can see there's practically 8 guys on the line. Here's the defense that we're talking about. Dominic Pryor, Josh Mariner, Forrest Bailey, and Kenneth Holland, or KJ Holland, as he likes to be called up front. Linebackers Daquan Pittman, Terrence Ricks, William Thompson, and Cornelius Smith, Daquan Lawrence, Brandon Foster on the corners, and Brandon Addison, the safety.
Once again, Jackson under center. Brian Moore right behind him. And then we've got some movement down here on the Bethel Bruin offensive line. So that's going to cost them about 5 yards.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, still third down.
5 yards.
Turner Paxton a little anxious there, but I know Coach Hooker is looking at the safety. The safety, Foster, is right up on the line of scrimmage that time. And there's not, if he can slip a receiver behind him, and they've got a couple of good ones there with Alexander Wilson, Sweetenberg, and then Jesse Williams comes in, number 11.
Yes.
If he can get a receiver behind there, Bethel can go to the air and loosen up that defense for some more runs. So you can see that they do have Williams in the game now on the near side.
Yeah, look at that. Out of the shotgun this time, Trey Jackson gets the ball, and he's looking for a receiver, and he's going deep along the near sideline to number 11. He makes the catch, but it's out of bounds, and that was, I believe that was Williams we were talking about, number 11.
It is, and what's interesting, Paul, is he's not in the starting lineup, and yet he made honorable mention wide receiver in Old Peninsula District, and you can see why there. What a catch by Jesse Williams, but just a bit out of bounds. 5'8", 158-pound junior is Williams.
Nice acrobatic move there.
Back into punt formation.
Back to punt for the Bruins, number 10, and that is Alexander Wilson. He gets the punt off just barely. Nice big punt, and it will be taken at about the 28-yard line with a fair catch.
Dante Shepard on the fair catch. Smart move by him.
34 yards on the punt.
Seeing that, two Bruins staring him down eye to eye.
And they weren't his Bruins.
No, that's right. They're both Bruins, aren't they?
We got Bruins versus Bruins tonight, so we call Bruins. And Paul and I have made a prediction: the Bruins will win this game.
Exactly.
We will be right.
It is Saturday, November the 11th, 2012. You're at Darling Stadium. Out of that single wing, C.J. Thomas flips it to Mariner around that right side again, following his blockers. He gets to the crease, up the field along the sideline where he's finally pushed out of bounds at midfield. A great run by number 22, Mariner.
Well, Josh Mariner is following a wall of blockers around the right side. Let's see who helped him this time. Look at the tackles move. The big left tackle there, number 76, Michael Cagle, who has led Mariner several times tonight, goes around the end. He pulls the left guard. Left guard's pulling, Thomas Coleman, and they're opening up some holes.
And you know who else was in there, too? I noticed was a quarterback, C.J. Thomas, going out there. Thomas under the center. He gives it to number 28, and he comes to the left side. That's Shepard once again. So, folks, basically so far, if you see him coming left, it's Shepard. If he's going right, it's Mariner.
We'll see if that holds true. But they have a little better luck on that play. That looked a little more traditional.
Yes.
But the double wing has given Bethel some troubles here, in particular fighting off the blocks. I think they're recognizing where the ball's coming. They're just not able to get through some of these blocks. Watch Cagle on the end. Number 76, 5'11", 250 sophomore.
Big man. Tight formation on the single wing. Handoff goes to Mariner. He's following number 62. This time Bethel's there to greet him, and they bring him down after a short gain.
And that's a great picture of the double wing, where you see Mariner with his hand on the back of 62 Thomas Coleman steering him like a blocking barge there.
The Bruins, number 6, Devon King.
Look at that.
You see him right around the end, but good recognition by by Bethel Bruins. The Bruins are playing a heck of a ball game tonight.
3rd and 8 now for Western Branch. We're going to a two-back system here, which splits to this side of the field. He's got a pass open, and he throws it low to his receiver, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Western Branch Bruins.
Well, Thomas was 41 of 80 on the year, 676 yards and 13 touchdowns.
That's
so
not bad at all.
No, not bad at all. This was not a real good pass. He was about ready to get leveled. So we're going to see the punt here from, it was at Forrest Bailey, back to punt, number 12.
12 is going to be Bailey. That is correct, Forrest Bailey. Is Killebrew back there? For the Bruins, number 4.
Will be number 12, Forrest Bailey.
We've seen a lot of speed out of Killebrew. Let's see if he can get a run back here.
Nice punt, very high. Oh, going to take a nice bounce. Killebrew's going to take a shot at it. If he can get through the hole there, he's got some, but he's not going to. He's not going to. They're finally going to bring him down. For a moment there, a little crease opened up, but the Western Branch Bruins filled it quickly and stopped Killebrew short.
Well, good return by Killebrew. Killebrew's been a real pleasant surprise for Bethel this year. He's 5'7", 153 pounds, plays much taller, does very well.
There's number 6 for the Bethel Bruins. And get your name here real quickly. That is Javon King. Bethel in their own territory. Trey Jackson hands it off to, looks like number 5, Jahid Hudson.
Jihad, one of the smallest guys on the field in any given time, and that time showed a little power as he bore over the left side, right over the center, really. Able to pick up a few yards.
Well, he is a good runner, but if I remember correctly, help me with his memory, he likes to get outside and take off, right?
He prefers to be out near the tackles and get around the edge of the tackle. But that, if you can get behind Ricky Walker, that's a good safe spot to be.
Yes, it is.
Let's see.
Anywhere near him on any time in the field is a good spot to be. Trey Jackson underneath. Moore behind him, and then Hudson. Moore will get it coming off the tackle. He'll pick up about 2 yards as he crosses over into the, 27?
Hey, he's out close to the first down. They may be a yard short. But Bethel doing what they need to do here, which is pick up 5-6 yards at the pop and just be patient.
Well, they've got plenty of running backs to do that. Nobody's going to get tired the way that Coach Hooker does this. He's got some fresh legs he can put in there at any time. And don't forget that Trey Jackson can pass, too. We've seen him once already. Connected, it just happened to be out of bounds. Hudson and Moore in the backfield. Looks like we're going to have a
timeout. Bethel.
Yeah, we saw the players looking over to the sideline like they were a little confused on the play. So it's probably a smart idea at this time with 1:09 left in the first quarter to find out what they needed.
And with 3rd and short, you want to be sure to get the right play in and pick up that all-important first down.
Yeah.
Well, this is, we've seen 2 plays, 2 productive plays for Bethel. I think this is a great sign for Coach Hooker's squad, and I think we're going to see him try to pass it a couple more times than he normally would, because if he can get over top of this defense, the defensive line, and he can open it up for Hudson a little more. Otherwise, Hudson could have a long night there in the middle. I also expect to see Justin Blue get the ball a couple times. He's on the sideline now, but the fullback, we've seen Blue show a lot of toughness. Mariner now with 10 carries, 74 yards, 7.4 yards a carry, which is 2 yards under his average. He's 9.58 yards a carry this year. A good start for the Western Branch tailback.
Jackson with the keeper for the first down.
And he comes through and busts out on the side. Good run by Jackson. We've been impressed by Trey Jackson. Remember, he took over for Frank Brown.
Yes.
Who was a very good quarterback. And Trey's been able to do everything Coach Hooker wants him to. His team is 8-2.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why. Look at him shoot through the line there. A little help from his teammate. Getting a little push through the middle. That was Brian Moore playing in the fullback spot.
You got a wide receiver to either side. Jackson underneath center. Long count.
No place for Jihad Hudson to go. Terrence Ricks held up the end there, and not any room. That's Bethel's first down tonight, but a much-needed one.
I'm like you. I'm waiting for the pass. I've been looking at this defense like you did, and you pointed it out earlier that everybody's within a yard or two of each other, and they've got one safety in the back.
Watch here on the end. You can see number 20 come in there and stop the Brian Moore's block and not allowing Moore to move on and create a bigger hole.
Wilson and Williams to this side of the ball. Jackson flips to Hudson. He tries to get around the left side. He's not going anywhere. He's going to lose about 2 yards.
That's a nice tackle out there. Number 12, Forrest Bailey, who's listed as a nose tackle at 5'10", 170. So but of course he lines up next to Josh Mariner, who plays both ways for Western Branch. That's going to do it in the first quarter.
Just outside their own 30-yard line.
Bethel trailing 7-0 here after one period. Paul, we're seeing Bethel starting to do a few things we like to see, moving the ball a little bit. I think they're going to have to go to the air. They've got very good receivers. I know there's a much anticipated confrontation between the two receivers from Bethel and the two safety or cornerbacks, Daquan Lawrence and Brandon Addison for Western Branch. They think very highly of those two young men.
And they should, because we've done a couple of games. I like this Wilson and Williams. I mean, there was one game where these guys caught several passes with some nice catches, and they got good yardage with their passing game that night. I think what's happening, though, you mentioned it, Coach Hooker wants to get the run established for his team. That's what he's done all year long, was try to establish that run. I think once he gets over midfield, you might see them try to open it up a little bit, because you're right. They are going to have to get Hudson some more room. If they don't get him some room, he's not going to be able to take off. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching and still are watching LSC, Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. It is Saturday, November the 11th, 2012. If you want to see a replay of this game, you can see it Tuesday, November the 13th at 11:30 a.m. and p.m., Friday, November 16th, 6 a.m. and p.m., and Saturday, November 17th at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on LSC, your local sports channel, Cox 48, Verizon 23. Was today November 10th?
Today's the 10th.
Oh, I thought it was the 11th. I'm sorry.
Veterans Day tomorrow.
Wrong date.
Here comes Bethel again.
Hopeful wishes. Jackson going back to pass. He's got a receiver.
That's Turner Paxton, the big tight end. And we've watched Turner Paxton all year. I'm not sure how many catches he's had. I think that's the first on a televised game that he's made. The big man out there showing a lot more speed than he shows. Yeah, and that was a nice catch.
I was expecting to see either Wilson or Williams on that.
Very smart play by Coach Hooker. Look at Paxton get off the line of scrimmage. That's him on the right side. He does go out 10 yards, takes a hook, catches the ball, and then tries to use that weight to drop over the first down line. Looks like got a good spot. I think he's going to get the first down.
It's going to be awful close if he doesn't get it. Yeah, he's got it.
Man, by the nose of the football, but a very good play by the big tight end.
So here I'm guessing they're going to wait till they get to the 50, and what do? Next play, they pass.
Bethel in the first quarter, total yards 13 for the Bruins, for the Bethel Bruins, 93 yards for the Western Branch Bruins.
And I'm going to guess most of them are on the ground.
A lot of Bruins. All of them on the ground for Western Branch, all of them for Bethel. Good second first down for Bethel.
Trey Jackson with the ball, hands off to the first man through. That looks like Brian Moore again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all.
Well, that's you got to do that to keep that internal line, defensive line, to keep them honest. So give it him a couple times. He picked up a couple yards. Justin Blue now comes in and replaces Moore. Blue gives him a little bit of more speed. And we've had 3 passing attempts in the game so far. 2 by Bethel, 1 by Western Branch.
Who's that just came in? Number 8. There's Mr. Mike Smith and his wife Lisa. Saw number 8 come in on the Bruins, and I don't have a number 8.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Well, I don't think they wanted that.
No, that's not a good thing for the Bruins. Their second penalty, minus 10 yards so far for Bethel in penalties. Let's see what they do here. They have the receivers lined up right out there. Alexander Wilson and Jesse Williams.
All to the top of your screen. Jackson flips it, and it's an end around. They give it to number 1, Sweetenberg, and he's got some open traffic right in front of him, and he just keeps outrunning everybody as he gets down near the 10-yard line, and that play worked really well for the Bethel Bruins.
Speaking of guys we haven't seen carry the ball a lot in televised games this year for Bethel, Corey Sweetenberg, who's very speedy, plays a good defensive corner. This time you get to see his speed. That was him and not Williams out there on the right, and he just uses the jets.
And watch him as he blows by everybody here.
And then he's going to just try to run him over, which is smart. Look at him just bore right through one guy. Good play by Bethel. That's going to mix that up a little bit, make it easier for the receivers.
Sure is. Handoff this time. Look at this. Goes to number 7, Justin Blue. He shakes loose the defensive line, gets into the secondary, and takes it to the 5. Bethel is on the move.
Brandon Addison with the tackle for Western Branch. He was the one that Sweetenberg just ran over, so he comes back with a tackle there, saves a touchdown.
Bethel with a burst here.
Timeout. Western Branch.
Western Branch is, you can see Addison saving the touchdown there. Western Branch, I think, was surprised on that reverse, and Coach Gibson's going to call him over and settle him down a little bit. Here's the replay here. This time fullback Blue right over the left side. If he was able to shake that, I think he could have beaten Cornelius Smith to the corner. But Addison comes up with a tackle.
7-0, the Western Branch High School Bruins leading the Bethel High School Bruins with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Now, Paul, we've got a great crew with us tonight on a Saturday night here. Cameras, Wube Gabray, Lloyd McKenzie, Randy Bagoli, and Steve Fryer down on the field. Andy Foley doing our graphics and animation, the slow motion instant replay. Krista Campbell, who almost predicts what's going to happen out there. Camera control operator Renee Camden, the chief engineer Don Scharouse. Our audio engineer is Greg Lesko. Our director producer, of course, Don Scharouse. And Paul Rowe and Frank Edgar up top, alongside Brent Musgrove and Bob Hintz down on the field.
Handoff goes inside. Looks like it was Blue again.
I think it was Blue. What I like about him, and he shows it there, he is tough. And watch him almost like a hooked fish here as he gets in and then just tries to fight his way on, even though 4 guys have stood him up. He spot the ball about at the 3.
And if we get a second here, if we've got Bob listening in, maybe he can give us some insight on what Bethel is doing differently right here.
All right, guys, what they're doing is they're walking with a little bounce to the step. That reverse was really sweet with Sweetenberg. They got the first down. That's what they needed.
That's big Brian Moore that time. When they need a yard to get Brian Moore. And I like to see the little fight in them right now. Yeah. Blue and Moore, tough as nails, and you see it there.
Bob, how is the offensive line doing down there for the Bethel Bruins?
Well, I tell you what's happening is they're outmanned because there's so many men on the line of scrimmage. They got sometimes 8, 9 men up there on that line of scrimmage, and you only got 7 blocking them. So what you have to do is try to get a crease for your running back come through. It's hard to get outside this team. They've got a lot of speed, and that's why Jihad Hudson's having a little hard time. But going up the middle, they seem to be able to do a little bit better job. They've run number 35, Clark, a couple times, and then Justin Blue, you saw, he would have scored had he not got the tackler got hold of one leg, and that was it.
That's a first down for the Bethel Bruins, so they've got 4 shots here at the goal line.
And this has got to be giving the Bethel Bruins a little bit of confidence here as the game goes on. We've seen Western Branch controlling the ball here in the first half, and now the Bethel Bruins have begun to control. And I'll tell you, right at the moment, that reverse has been the catalyst here.
Right. I think Bethel's going to have to shake up this Western Branch defense.
More touchdown, Bethel Bruins.
And that's exactly what they need to do. And they're starting to show a little. That was right over top. It looked like Ricky Walker, wasn't it? Number
Who
50.
else?
Let's see who he followed in there.
And you were just saying a few minutes
Yeah,
ago, you give it to number 35 more when you need those yards or two, and Bob said the same thing.
You know, the beauty of that, though, Dominique Prayer, the defensive lineman, the defensive end is how he's listed, came in behind the block of Walker's and yet was not able to stop Moore at all. Moore went right through him.
Well, we know from experience Moore is a good runner. So there it is. The extra point is good, and we're tied here at Darling Stadium at 7-all with 8:51 left in the first half. It is Saturday, November the 10th, 2012, and I apologize for earlier getting that date wrong. It is Bethel Bruins and the Western Branch Bruins playing in the playoffs at Darling Stadium.
Oh, the Bruins are all tied here.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, the nice thing on that drive is, you look at Western Branch, great team. They got beat this year twice by two really good teams. But when they got beat, it's almost like when she's good, she's great. When she's bad, she's hard. When they get beat, they get whipped. And we were talking earlier about how poorly they played against Grassfield that night. It was 38-7 a loss. I think it was even worse to the other team, Oscar Smith, one seed in Division 6.
But what kind of record does Oscar Smith and Grassfield have? Yeah.
But Bethel's, I think, if they can get up on Western Branch and force them out of that double wing, force them to have to speed things up, it'll be Bethel will have them. So a good tying drive there by the Bethel Bruins.
And here's the kickoff from Bethel. It's going to be another short kick. It'll be taken at the 20-yard line by number 25. And he's got some open areas. He crosses the 40, the 45, and the fumble. And who's going to have it here? Bethel is jumping up and down, and it is Bethel's ball.
Paul,
Whoa.
how many times have we seen that where a kick returner or punt returner tries to stretch it out after very nearly being tackled, and what he does is he put an arm down to keep himself up, loosens up the hold, and gets poked out. Great play and great change of momentum here by the Bethel Bruins.
Wow, that was number 25, Eugene Somerville, that took that kick, and he had an open lane that he just burst through. And like Frank just said, when he got hit, he tried to get some extra yardage out of that to fight for it. Somehow or another, the ball came out. It popped out about 5 or 7 yards, and Bethel came up with it, and they'll now have it again. 1st and 10 from the 43.
Let's see if they can match the last drive. 12 plays, 81 yards in that last touchdown drive.
Quarterback Jackson goes back to pass. He slips, and he is hit hard while he throws, and it's going to be picked off by Western Branch at about the 40-yard line. That was number 5 for the Western Branch Bruins, and that is Daquan Pittman.
Well, Tough Jackson wrapped up. I thought there was a face mask on Trey Jackson. The defender had him around the throat and yanked him backwards and threw the pass off. You'll see it here.
Yeah, ill-advised.
Good rush. He slipped for 1, and 8 had him. That's William Thompson for Western Branch. So one turnover begets another one.
So the Western Branch Bruins will take it, and they're moving right quickly with number 22, Mariner. He'll take it to the right and then go up the middle with it and get it out to about the Bethel Bruin 45.
I'm surprised Mariner doesn't put on a fake beard and mustache. I mean, he is trying to disguise himself, and he does it very well. Watch him almost duck his head behind the blockers. And that time, he even changed who he was hiding behind. As he came and got across the line of scrimmage, he switched. Here it comes again.
Here he is going to the outside. He just rides off the blockers, and they don't see him, and then he just kind of emerges and takes off.
Good tackle by Corey Sweetenberg, who's playing a whale of a ball game so far. I thought he had popped that ball loose. I think it may have loosened up a little bit. Bruins are starting to feel it now.
Which ones? Which ones?
I think Bethel's starting to sense it a little bit that they can play. As I said, they're the higher seed, but for some reason they're pegged as the underdog, and hopefully they haven't read some of those articles.
Well, this is a big drive for them right here. They're going to need to stop Western Branch out of that wing formation. Looks like the blitz is coming on. They flip it to number 28 going to the left side, and he gets around the corner again. Dante Shepard does, picking up more yardage.
Stephon Parrish with another part of a tackle. Didn't catch who was at the feet. That may have been, I don't think it was Ricky Walker at the runner's feet. In fact, I think it was number 90, James Friend, who's coming the line. Let's see here as he drags across the line. Nope. Somebody had him on the feet. Paris finished him off. Paris with a lot of tackles so far for the Bruins, for the Bethel Bruins.
One of the Bruins. This time it goes to number 22 again. I believe it's 22. I'll double check that and make sure.
Good news is it was 22, and they took his helmet off. You get to see a little bit of Josh Mariner. He's going to have to come off for a play.
The Western Branch Bruins just keep coming at you, coming at you, coming at you.
Yeah, let's see if they can pass the ball, because this is a passing situation for Western Branch.
Well, we've seen C.J. Thomas throw earlier in the game. If they throw, they're coming out of a real tight formation. I would look for another run, but you never know. Well, he's going back to pass. He's looking downfield. He gets rushed. He's got a man wide open along the sidelines, but it's incomplete at about the 14-yard line.
Nicholas Clark, the missile back there, is heaving a great sigh of relief as he let that big receiver get by. You watch him here. He slips out and goes long. They've all of them hooked to the left, and he was wide open in front of Clark. Clark, there was no way he could pick it off. But a good stop by Bethel.
4th down and 8, and Western Branch is going to go for it here with the ball on the 38-yard line. They are spread out, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom in the shotgun. Back to pass. I've lost him. He's thrown it, and it looks like we're going to have a touchdown. That is a
38-yard
38-yard touchdown pass. I'm sorry, I lost track of that play there.
No, that was a great play by the quarterback. Everybody knew what he was doing. He steps up nicely and makes a throw. Nicholas Clark misses a tackle. Went right by him. I don't know if he even saw the ball coming until the last minute. And the receiver saw it all the way and able to get across the goal line.
Nice pass by number 4, C.J. Thomas, and a nice catch to come back to the ball and go up and get it.
Disappointing for Bethel because they had him stop 4th and 8.
The extra point is blocked. The Bethel Bruins will block the extra point, so Western Branch will take the lead 13-7 here with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Kind of a disappointment for the Bruins right here.
Well, it was, and I think they're going to have to rethink how this series went. Remember, they got the ball only because of a fumble, and they gave it up on an interception. I think Clark's going to be very angry at himself for that play. That was one that was set up for him to do what he does best, which is stick the receiver right as the ball arrived. That was a 6-play drive, 52 yards, 2 minutes and 23 seconds by Western Branch. Certainly not what Bethel wanted. Now, one thing we talked about before the game was the value of a kicker this year. Most teams, if they've won by a lot. We haven't seen a lot of close games. But in that block by Brian Moore, the extra point may haunt Western Branch. It may be something that Bethel can draw from that particular series as a positive.
All we can do is hope.
Let's see if they can put together another good drive here.
Well, I'm quite sure they're going to do that. We just hope it's going to be sustained enough that it'll take them all the way down into the end zone. 6:06 left in the half, 13-7, Western Branch over the Bethel Bruins here, November the 10th, 2012. It's the playoffs, Division 6.
And I would watch the short kick. I get a sense that Western Branch wants to try a few things tonight. Watch the short kick. Now he goes all the way this time. Kicks it out of bounds, so in the grand scheme of things, it was a short kick.
Yeah, it was a short kick, as Bethel's going to get good position on this, and we'll see how they react to that last drive where they lost the ball on an interception, and then Western Branch drove down the score.
Well, I hope Bethel doesn't give up on the pass because it does free up those running backs. Blue's going to get the call at the fullback spot.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. Ball was kicked out of bounds. Bethel will take possession 1st and 10 from the 35.
Good starting position for Bethel, and a good way to start this second drive. Let's see if they can get a nice long drive here. They've got 6 minutes here in the second quarter to do it. Jesse Williams in now, the receiver on the left, along with Wilson.
Justin Blue with the ball off the right side, gets a couple of yards.
You know, that's man-to-man defense on those two receivers. There's 9 guys in the box for the Western Branch defense. And only the safety and one of the cornerbacks over covering the 2 receivers. Daquan Lawrence out here on receiver, as well as Brandon Foster.
Yeah,
I just hope they take advantage of that, Paul.
Yeah, you would think they'd be ripe for getting a pass.
They're doing it again here. Now, this may be a good time for that tight end to come curling around. You see Foster, the safety, way up in the linebacker spot.
Goes with the option and flips it to Hudson, and he's got about 5 people standing in front of him, and they stand him up real quickly.
Yeah, Hudson got a whack that time from Brandon Allison. Folks, if you can see the different colors of the helmets for Western Branch, when we first took a look at them, we thought that they had some sort of nouveau art on their helmets. What those are stickers with the Bruin bear outline, and they get those stickers when they have a good play. As you can see Josh Mariner there being blocked. Mariner's helmet is basically gray, whereas some of the guys that may not have had the year he's had have half blue and half gray. So that's the difference in the Western Branch helmets.
Passing play here for the Bruins. It's 3rd and 8. They got receivers at either end of the line. Jackson back to pass. He has really rushed a blitz. He just dumps it out to Hudson, who's going to get back close to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Brandon Addison, the right cornerback with great closing speed, because Hudson's a fast running back. That time, Addison able to close the gap very quickly. You'll see it here. Jackson just gets it off. And look at Addison close and make the tackle.
Bob, as they get ready to punt here in the last 2 plays, it's almost as if the Bethel Bruins offensive line has kind of collapsed on them.
Back deep to receive for Western Branch will be number 28, Dante Shepard.
The punt away.
Gets that at the 23.
There's the ball again.
Bruins with the ball, and they may take it in. Corey Sweetenberg recovers the fumble and takes it into the end zone for the Bethel Bruins.
I think Mark Maddox may have had his hand in there to pop that ball out. We'll see. Maddox certainly had the first chance for the Bethel Bruins to pick up the fumble. We see it here. Another turnover by Western Branch. There's the ball out.
I couldn't quite see what happened.
Nicholas Clark, I think, popped the ball loose. So that's a little makeup hit by Nicholas Clark as he makes up for the defensive error on the other end. That time popped the ball loose like he's known to do, and able for Corey Sweetenberg to pick it up. Sweetenberg all over the field tonight.
Jordan Shover with the extra point. And there's your difference right there, as you were talking about. 14-13, the Bethel Bruins now in the lead. And Frank just talked about it about 5 minutes ago, how important a kicker could be, although we haven't seen that too much because the scores have been quite wide. But here it is tonight where the kicker has made a difference. Bethel had the block.
See if this isn't Nicholas Clark. Boom. Between Clark on his back and Casey Pretlow, the two of them combined to pop that ball loose. It bounces up in the hand of Corey Sweetenberg.
Yeah, can you imagine being Corey Sweetenberg, have that ball bounce into your hands and just go, wow.
The happy man, because we hadn't called his name a lot in the broadcast. We broadcast Bethel twice before.
All right, Bob, on the field. Hello there.
Hey, I was up at the other end of the field, and one of the photographers on the side said to me, he says, well, what's wrong with the score? They don't have it up there right. And I said, what do you mean? He says, we're supposed to be 14-13. I said, well, maybe you are predicting something. And sure enough, you saw what happened. Wow. I said, I got to talk to me some more.
Yeah, talk to him a lot. We want to see Bethel score some more, Bob. Oh, my goodness. What a good break. And here's where breaks have been a difference, because Western Branch scored on a break, and now the Bethel has. All right, number 22, and that is the man Mariner. He's taking it down the left side. He's going to get close to the 45-yard line. A good return on the kickoff from the Bethel Bruins, putting Western Branch in good field position.
I think that's a mistake by Shover, and I'll tell you why. They've been kicking away from Mariner, and you see why. That's a 40-yard return. They've been kicking away from him every time, and that time he kicked it too far, and the return man that had fumbled it before. I believe Eugene Somerville got out of the way and let Mariner pick it up.
C.J. Thomas in the tight single wing. He turns it over to, looks like, Mariner again.
Ricky Walker's got him in the middle of that pack right there. I think for Bethel, they're going to have to tackle anybody that looks like they got somebody behind them. Just go ahead and tackle the tackle or the guard who's pulling, and try to push them back and bring down the running back. Now, Western Branch is going to try to speed it up, but if this is what they do to speed up, just run the same play again. Here he comes.
Same play once again to Mariner, and he's got an opening this time, and he picks up enough yards to where it's going to be a first down for Western Branch, and they're almost going with a. I was going to say they're almost going with a no huddle. Yeah, they are almost going with a no huddle. They're going with a no huddle.
Stephon Parrott, well, they run in the same play, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. Just give it to Josh Mariner here. Well, this time they give it to Shepard, number 28. He goes to the left side and picks up a bunch of yards. He fumbles the ball, but I think he was down.
They do call him down. The one official, the umpire, hadn't signaled yet, but the line judge over there did. So the same play going the opposite way this time. A little pitch to Shepard. He's around the corner. Sweetenberg having a game of his life right now.
Timeout. Bethel.
Bethel trying to make changes.
That is their last timeout of the first half.
Trying to make changes to in the middle of this hurry-up offense from Western Branch. Almost got caught with too many men on the field. Had to call their last timeout of the half.
Probably not a bad idea right here. Western Branch getting close to the end zone. You want to make sure that you know what you're going to do to prevent that from happening.
The only harm in that, the only risk in that is one thing about Western Branch, they can speed it up all they want running the same type of play, but the clock still runs. So it's not one of these passing offenses that they can stop the clock by throwing it in incomplete or getting out of bounds. As we've seen, I don't think Mariner or Shepard has run out of bounds yet.
No, they don't. They don't run out of bounds.
Well, that good decision not to give up those 5 yards, make Mariner work for it. Mariner right now working pretty hard. 15 carries, 99 yards so far for Josh Mariner. Just a day in the park for him. I think the Bruins have done a good job of limiting him to that many yards. It's under his average. And you're talking about a man that came off of last week with a 400-yard effort. And we'll get that at halftime. It was a tremendous effort by Mariner.
Yeah, he's averaging about 300 yards in the last 2 games. Here they are with a real tight, and it goes to Mariner. Again, this time he bounces to the outside. He's got it open. He can get to the crease. And he gets down near the 20-yard line. If it hadn't have been for Corey Sweetenberg, he'd have just gone right down the sideline to the end zone.
The disappointing thing, I think, for the Bruins that time is that the number 58, coming from the backside, Stephen Dow was not able to catch him. See him chasing him there out and not able to catch him because I thought if he could get behind him, he could pop that ball loose.
Pick up a 13 yards on the play, ladies and gentlemen.
Clock running till the stop till the sticks get reset.
Has just eclipsed the 2,000-yard mark in a single season. He has right now 2,000.
C.J. Thomas under center. He gives the flip to Shepard around the left side. He's trying to find something. He can. He's grabbed by number 6, Javon King of the Bethel Bruins.
That's good stop by King. Just hold on till you get some help. So it's the same play, one left, one right. Bethel's starting to recognize it and starting to break it up.
Continuing with the speed-up offense. This time they flip once again to number 22, Mariner. He gets about a yard.
Clock continuing to run. Western Branch with their 2 timeouts left, so they can stop if they get too close. Bethel, this is a big stop if they can get it.
It certainly is. That would have them go into the locker room with a lead here if they can keep Western Branch out of the end zone.
Von King with a great play that time.
Back to pass. It's going to be a incomplete pass. Looked like it was going to be some sort of a screen, but I think it surprised the receiver.
Looks like they were throwing over number 15, T.J. Booth. He was not even anywhere near open. Of course, the receivers downfield were covered, and C.J. Thomas had no time even to look.
That incomplete pass is going to give the Western Branch Bruins a little bit of time to get into a huddle there and call a few more plays. That won't eat up any time. 1:14 left in the first half. The Bethel Bruins with a 14-13 lead.
Well, lead they'd like to hold into halftime.
Yes, they would.
Fourth down now.
Thomas back to pass again. He's got an open receiver in the middle, and he hits him at the 10-yard line.
He may have just gotten the first down. Sweetenberg stopped it. He did get the first down, and he's inside the 10.
So it's going to be first and goal for Western Branch with 1:05 left.
Bethel's going to have to stop those short passes.
This time the flip goes to Mariner again, and he continues to move all the way outside to the 5-yard line. He just, like you said, Frank, he just follows the blockers and slides and slides and slides.
That time Eugene Somerville took Mariner's job. Mariner out of the lineup right now. Here comes Somerville again, and he's able to go across. That touchdown. So Mariner out of the ball game, and Somerville in. Well, that's an interesting.
I didn't catch that. It looked like number 22 to me.
No, in Somerville, Mariner went out. I don't know. Now we've seen Mariner go out with a helmet coming off, but I didn't see that happen this time. He's back on the extra point. Good drive by Western Branch as they're able to go ahead again. Now 19-14. I know Bethel would like to block this as well. Let's watch Brian Moore see if he can get another one.
5-yard touchdown run. Now this kick looks like it's up, and it is good. So the Western Branch Bruins will go up by a score of 20-14 with 32 seconds left in the half at Darling, and that was a drive that the Bethel Bruins didn't want to see.
Now, and here's a touchdown run here. Somerville just turns it up, looks for the hole, turns it up, and runs right over Thomas Coleman, his left guard, 6'5", 280. Coleman had paved the road, and Somerville's tucked in behind him and scored.
Now, that was a big, big hole down there. Bob, anything to say about this drive by the Western Branch Bruins?
Well, that was the first time that they decided to go inside after the pitch, which usually been going outside, but he saw a crease, cut in, and just basically walked into the end zone. They're hitting on this. Both teams are really hitting, but they can't catch up with the running back because they're behind the big guys and they can't see them.
Yeah, that's what we're noticing up here. They just slide to the outside, as you mentioned, and keep right on going, and then they just appear from behind the blockers and, boom, pick up some more yardage.
That's a 10-play drive in 2 minutes, 58 seconds, covered 54 yards.
This time they are going with a short kick. They don't want to return, and Bethel will just down it at about the 24-yard line. They'll have 30 seconds to see what they can do. And I don't know. Let's play guessing here. What do? Do you just try and run it out?
I think you do. I think Bethel's going to take what they've got, and they're behind by 6. But they're not behind by 7. They've had a couple of breaks. When they get a break or they do something a little different, they seem to be able to rattle Western Branch some. Western Branch, a very strong team. That was a good drive. I think the key, Paul, in the second half is if Bethel's defense can stop those third down passes, which we've seen receivers way too far open in front of Nicholas Clark, that time in front of Corey Sweetenberg. They're going to have to stop those passes.
They are that, and they're going to have to pass. And they are just going to kneel and take the down, and they'll go into the locker room down by 6 points. 20-14, Western Branch with the lead as they'll head. Well, maybe they won't head.
Looks like they're going to let it run down.
I thought it stopped there for a second. Now we go. 6 seconds left, and here we go. We'll go into the locker room with Western Branch leading by a score of 20-14 over the Bethel Bruins. What a game so far.
Well, much higher score than I thought there would be. I knew we'd see the rushing, and I thought we'd see a little lower score, particularly as the two teams felt each other out here in the first half. But both teams have shown the ability to drive the ball. Western Branch, I bet you, has three times as many offensive plays as Bethel.
and I would guess that most of them will be running. But, you know, I'm impressed with the fact that they are a very, very good running team, but I'm really impressed with the offensive line. And I'm going to assume that's why they're picking up so much yardage on the run. But they've also looked good passing tonight. Now, whether it's a combination of confusing the Bethel secondary or whether they really are that good or not is hard to say. But it's kind of surprised me, and I think it's surprised Bethel a little bit too, and that's what's helped Western Branch tonight. So we expected the running game. We're getting a little bit of passing from both. And Frank says that in the second half, Bethel's going to have to stop those passes, and they're going to have to stop the run. They themselves are going to have to pick up the run, and you're going to have to see Trey Jackson go to the air to his wide receivers a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. Any thoughts?
Well, I was just handed some stats, and I want to thank whoever has been providing these stats for his quickie stats at halftime. I was off about the number of plays, but total offense, Bethel has 20 plays, Western Branch 34. So that's the number we were talking about. Time of possession is in favor of Western Branch, yards in favor of Western Branch, yet Bethel's only 6 points down.
Yeah, that is amazing. Not as close as I thought it would be. You're exactly correct. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is November the 10th, 2012. You're watching LSC on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23 as we bring you the Western Branch Bethel game right now going into halftime. Western Branch 20 and Bethel 14. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are once again at Darling Stadium, where the Western Branch Bruins have a 20-14 lead over the Bethel Bruins. And we're going to take a look at some of the highlights. It's a little chilly here. Some of the highlights in the first half of this game. It's actually a very close game. Here they are. First off, Mariner. The kid can run. Watch him go to the right-hand side, break tackles, and he'll pick up about 15 yards. Then it's Shepard. Shepard goes to the left. Mariner goes to the right. Shepard picking up yardage to the left. Now we have the touchdown. It's Mr. Mariner once again. To the right side, shakes the tackles, hops into the end zone. Western Branch with the lead. Now, Bethel with the surprise play of the game. It's an end around. Number one, Corey Sweetenberg finds open area, gets it all the way down to about the 10-yard line, and Bethel is in business. In fact, a few minutes later, Justin Blue takes it close to the 5, and then you give it to Justin Moore, and he takes it into the end zone. Bethel on the board. And then a break for Western Branch, slipping and throwing a ball that he probably shouldn't have thrown, intercepted by Daquan Pittman by Western Branch, and now Western Branch headed the opposite direction. The quarterback, C.J. Thomas, looks, finds a man. A great catch by Brandon Addison, who takes it to the house, and Western Branch is up. And now Bethel gets an opportunity here on a fumble on the kickoff return. Corey Sweetenberg picks it up, heads to the sideline. He's going home, ladies and gentlemen. 6 points for the Bethel Bruins. And then, just before the end of the half, Somerville, Western Branch running back, 5 yards, right into the end zone. And that puts Western Branch up by the score of 20-14. What a first half we had, Frank. Running.
That was a whirlwind half. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Let Paul take a break and get a drink of water after those highlights. But that's kind of how the first half went. You know, we saw exactly what we expected to see. We saw the Western Branch double wing come in and run it left, run it right. They pack it tight. With no surprises from Western Branch. Certainly, we thought we'd see Josh Mariner. Dante Shepard played very well for them. So the two of, and then Eugene Somerville came in the end. Yeah, we do have some statistics. Thanks, Brent Musgrove, for keeping us up to date on the statistics. There they are right there. You see the yardage in favor of Western Branch, 199-91. 50 of the Bruin yards on that end around. Penalties about even. Turnovers, though, favor the Bethel Bruins. Time of possession favors Western Branch, as does the number of plays. 34 plays for the Western Branch, only 20 for Bethel. A little less than the ratio the disparity I thought we were going to see, but bad enough. The Bruins offense, Bethel Bruins offense needs to be on the field a little more here in the second half. And as I said, there were no surprises here by Bethel or by Western Branch. I think to win the game, Bethel is going to have to throw a few surprises out there.
Yeah, and I thought, and I was really excited with that end-around play, as were you. There was a little wrinkle right there, and it caught Western Branch by surprise. And we need to see more things like that. And you and I both were talking at halftime. We need to see a little bit more throwing, too. That defense for Western Branch, real tight, just like their offense. Real tight, close to the line. We know these guys, Williams and Wilson, are speedy receivers and can get loose. And there's a lot of open area there for them.
Yeah, and I two things about passing for Bethel. I think we need to see them throw the ball more, and I think we need to see better passing defense. They have done well to pick up on the double wing. They've done well to bring down the runners. They've picked up Mariner. Yes, Mariner's over 100 yards, but he's over 100 yards in the first quarter of most of his games in the last few weeks. So I think they've done a good job, and in fact, they pulled Mariner out and put Somerville in that last couple plays for Western Branch, even though he ran very effectively as well. I think what has killed Bethel in the first half are a couple of third down, and in one case a fourth down pass pickup, one touchdown, one first down pickup that has really hurt. And both of those plays have been in front of their key defenders, Nicholas Clark, Corey Sweetenberg, who otherwise they've played very good games tonight. We were talking about we'll pick a player of the game at the end of this. Sweetenberg has done everything that you could ask of him, except one particular pass play. He allowed the receiver to get in front of him and make the first down catch. If Bethel shores up the passing defense and maybe throws a few little differences in its offense, I think they can come back and win this ball game.
Well, both of us sure hope they do. There's no question about that. I'd also like to see Hudson be able to get outside. This Western Branch defense has prevented him from doing that all day long, or all night long, I guess we would say.
What they seem to be doing, Paul, is they're standing up. The guys like Walker, they're able to stand him up, or he's standing up his man, but there's 9 men in the box for Western Branch. So unless Trey Jackson can start going over the top, he did it once to the tight end, Turner Paxton. He needs to do it a couple more times to the tight end and to the receivers. And they're going to get the ball here first in the second half. A sustained drive with a touchdown and an extra point puts them ahead. So Bethel's in this ball game.
Yeah, they're going to have to be. And as you said, this Western Branch defense, 9 guys up there, 8 guys up there, 10 guys up there. They're making it very tough when you don't have that many people to block.
Right, and so Bethel's seen it. They've had a chance to 20 minutes to go over it in the locker room. Coach Hooker's done a fine job of adjusting this team all year. Let's see what he does here.
Looks like he's got Trey Jackson and Killebrew back deep. Western Branch will kick off. The second half here at Darling Stadium is now underway. Looks like it's going to go to Killebrew at the 10 on the far side. He comes to the near side, looking for some running room, trying to get on the edge, can't get there, and will be brought down at about the 18 or 19-yard line, where Bethel will take over 1st and 10 to begin the second half.
Not a bad run back. Eugene Somerville, the running back for Western Branch, able to chase Killebrew down and at least force him into the rest of the tackles. You'll see Somerville come out of the left side of the screen here. There's a lot of speed being shown by Western Branch. Very quick, and able to bring down an extremely quick kickoff returner in Killebrew.
Yeah, we've seen him make some nice returns over the years, so I'm surprised they caught him as quickly as they did.
3 receivers out. First time we've seen that, Paul.
Yeah, spreading it out, which is what you said they needed to do.
And it's man-to-man coverage.
Whoa, we had Hudson in motion and one of the linemen.
Prior to the snap. False start. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
The right tackle, Josh Jones, jumped that time.
And you can see he was upset. He just kind of shook his arm like, daggone it.
And he's looking at it again. They had 8 men in the box that time, and man-to-man coverage on all 3 receivers, and maybe that's what Western Branch goes with. We haven't seen them play yet this year, but I think with these speedy receivers, Bethel's going to be able to the receiver should be able to get open.
Well, you got Sweetenberg to this side. You got Williams and Wilson up at the top of your screen. You got both running backs behind them. In motion goes Hudson. This looks like it could be a pass play. And guess what they do? They give it to Moore. He gets loose over the 20, down to the 25-yard line. They open the hole that time, Frank.
That's a really good play by Coach Hooker, who had the same set he had before the penalty and yet switched it up, made Hudson go in motion to the right, and then came back left for the fullback.
And that's what we were saying about shaking things up a little bit. Spread that defense out. You don't want them packed up there. You've got to get them guessing. And this worked real well. Brian Moore, strong runner. Look at him as he pulls the players with him. Nice pickup.
Todd Barker leading the way that time.
Same lineup. This time he gives it to, was that Moore again?
Moore again.
Same play.
Picked up a couple yards, 3rd and about 2 for Bethel. So Bethel is showing a different formation and continuing to run the ball.
Let's do it again. It's working. Get those yards. Keep picking them up.
And take your time doing it. They don't be in a hurry. Just get the first downs.
Yeah, you're only 6 points down.
And the man coverage on the corners. Safety up behind in a linebacker spot.
Williams up at the top. It's time to give it to Hudson. He's got a corner if he can reach it and turn it. Looks like he'll get just shy of the 40-yard line. He'll pick up the first down. And, Frank, he had a corner there and couldn't get to it. This Western Branch defense is quick.
They are good. And Jesse Williams tried to set his block and couldn't get it set. So Hudson couldn't see which way to go, in or out. Williams just couldn't hold his block out there. Couldn't get to his man in time. But a first down nonetheless, and a very important first down as we start the first drive of the second half.
3 good runs by the Bethel Bruins to open up the second half here at Darling Stadium. They line up again. We got 2 receivers down here near this sideline, one up at the top. Moore and Hudson in the backfield. It'll go to Hudson, and he is hit as soon as he gets the ball by number 35 for Western Branch.
That's Cornelius Smith, we've called his name a couple times tonight. Plugged the hole there and able to push Hudson back. I think the loss of 2.
Look at this. He just walks right in there. Look at that. Nobody touched him.
The missed block somewhere, probably up on the line, because Moore, the fullback, was fully engaged on the corner. So Coach Hooker now sending in a new play. Trey Jackson going to have to come up with something here. Time is running here on this possession, and Bethel's going to need its timeout, so they don't want to have to call one.
They don't want to get called for delay, and it's very close.
3 wideouts.
Going from the shotgun. It's going to be a pass, and it's a quick one, a sharp one right across to number 10, and that is Alexander Wilson, and that's just a quick slant and a quick pass. Good work by the Bethel Bruins.
I couldn't get the words out of my mouth quick enough to say that they are man-to-man again, and if he could just get Wilson and have time to throw, and the line did a great job, gave him the time, just enough time to get that pass off without being hurried.
Well, they went to the shotgun. He didn't have to worry about going back. He was just able to fire it off real quickly, and when you do that, you saw the open space right there, and when you've got man-to-man, if you can get the inside position, you've got the pass.
That's the old episode of MASH where they talk about the team going to the short pass, opening up the middle, and that's exactly what that was. Good play by Bethel.
Hudson again, he gets tripped up in the backfield, gets out to about the 50, pick up of a yard.
Terrence Ricks actually deeper in the backfield than the Bethel quarterback. So Ricks is able to penetrate, and the penetration, while they may not get the tackle, it throws everything off on the play.
Yes, it does.
We got some good sponsors. Speaking of market penetration here, we got some sponsors. Grey Goose Restaurant, of course, Dana Epstein and her crew down there on West Queens Way in Hampton. Smith Brothers Funeral Home in Hampton, located down in Phoebus, and in Tidewater Team Sports. We'll get some others after this play.
All right, once again, Bethel with 2 receivers down here close to the bottom of the screen, one up top. Moore and Hudson. Hudson goes in motion. That's that play they started with. They give it to Brian Moore off the right-hand side, and he's going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards, just like they did the first time.
Hudson again, a decoy as we watched Trey Jackson come over and get another play. Second half sponsors Eric Thompson, the realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3172. In the third quarter, sponsored by Kaufman & Knoll's attorneys with offices in Hampton on Cunningham Drive across from Peninsula Town Center and in Newport News at City Center. Kaufman & Knoll's. We can and we will. Big third down play here for the Bruins, Paul.
Sure is. Once again, they're going with that spread out offense.
Got to give Jackson time here.
Jackson under center. He fakes it. He flips it back to Hudson, and Hudson is not there, and it's going to be recovered by Western Branch, and I'm not sure where that pitch, that one just went where it wasn't supposed to go.
The saying Caddyshack went right in the lumberyard. That was just Jackson, a little desperation there as he gets stopped, and he's just late. The running back was where he was supposed to be. It just tossed it behind him. A mistake by Jackson.
Oh, and they were doing so well and moving the ball. Defense is going to have to do it here because here comes this Western Branch. And there is Mariner and there's a flag and a whistle.
Well, if that yellow flag would stop him, we should throw more because that's the only thing that stopped Mariner.
Prior to the start. Encroachment on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
And Mariner nevertheless picks up 5 yards on the flag. First and 5 for Western Branch.
Oh.
So a couple bad plays in a row there for the Bruins, who started so well here in the second half.
They sure did, doing a great job running the clock and running the ball, spreading out Western Branch's defense. C.J. Thomas, number 4, the quarterback for Western Branch. He gives it to nobody and goes back and is looking for a receiver downfield. Can't find anybody, so he goes upfield and gets near the 29. He was getting pressure in the backfield, and this time Bethel had good coverage in the secondary.
Well, Ricky Walker giving chase, not able to catch him, but Stephon Paris lays him out there as he approached the 32. Here's Walker showing his speed as a lineman, just about to catch him, and then Paris comes in and lays him out along with Casey Pretlow. Pretlow's had a couple good tackles tonight, one that joined in with the group that caused the fumble.
Great defense by the Bethel Bruins that time. Here comes the flip to Mariner again. He's coming around the right side. He's finding opening room, dragging tackles with him, breaks another tackle, goes back across the field the other way. He's over the 20, into the 15, down near the 10-yard line, and I'm trying to figure out how he got loose.
Well, he got loose because Paris, who's walking off the field and kicking himself, lost him. He didn't have any help, though. He had him and didn't get any help. And Mariner, if you don't get help, he's going to keep pulling until he can pull away from you. See here, Paris had him by the leg and did not able to hang on. Neither could Casey Pretlow. Finally, over comes Sweetenberg. Sweetenberg has been all over the field tonight, able to drag him down.
This young kid, Mariner, is really showing us something tonight.
That's Somerville that time.
Somerville is corralled, but in the backfield, he'll get a loss on this play.
Interesting how Somerville comes in the inside. They get inside the 20. And he's come in a couple times. Mariner coming back. Even our great announcer, PA announcer, Bill Nettles, thought that was Mariner. But if we see Mariner go out and Somerville slip in the lineup, this time Mariner back in his usual spot. It's Rick's in the back there, too.
This time it's given to number 20. I'm going to have to check my sheet on that
Terrence
one.
Ricks. I just
Ricks.
mentioned they slipped him back, and they had 3 backs that time with Shepard and Mariner and then Ricks.
Number 15, Terry Chisley.
The fact is the Bethel Bruins are just going to start laying some wood on these guys and punish them for running the ball. And they should start with Somerville, who's just coming in again. Try to catch one of these fresh backs, and that's Ricks there.
So they got Rick, Shepard, and Somerville, and Mariners in there. Mariners back in there.
Timeout. Western Branch.
All right, Western Branch going to call a timeout here. If something went wrong, something they didn't like, and they wanted some time to think about that. The ball sitting down at about the 7-yard line for Western Branch here with 4:19 to go in the third quarter. They're threatening to put more points on the board.
Not a good sign. Stefan Parrish is out of the line. He's walked back out to the huddle now, but he came off the field having missed that tackle, and he had his right arm up as if he had a shoulder injury and came off. I've seen him do it twice. He went back in after the halftime, but you see number 14 on the sideline there backing up. We want to mention that this ball game is going to be broadcast later this week, November 11th. That's tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Then on Tuesday, the 13th at 11:30 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. Friday, the 16th at 6 and 6. And Saturday, the 17th, 8 and 8. That's LSC Channel 48, Verizon Fios Channel 23. So if you miss a part of it when you first see it, tune in the next time and catch it again. The schedule's on the web.
This time, Western Branch spread out a little bit more, and it's going to be a quick pass right to the corner end zone and intercepted by the Bruins. They're going to run it out along the sideline, cutting back up across the field. He gets loose. He's got some open area. He's coming across. He's finally brought down at about the 32-yard line. What a great interception by the Bethel Bruins, and we'll get the number of the player.
That was Terry Chisley, number 15. Chisley, who's come in as an extra back. And maybe to take Parrish's place. We just talked about Parrish being out. Well, look at Chisley. He saw it all the way. It was as much to him as to anybody else. And he decided he doesn't like that side. He's going to come across.
Got some good blocks there.
And what I like to see is that the Bruins, we talked about them trying to lay the wood. That's a good opportunity to hit one of those guys who may be more focused on the runner and be sure they know they've been in a ball game. Let's see if Bethel can capitalize.
Nice job by the Bruins. Spread out again. They give it once again to Brian Moore. He's not going to get but maybe a yard here as Western Branch was waiting for him.
That's the old 3 yards, almost, well, 2.5 yards in a cloud of dust. Moore has gotten positive yardage all night.
They've used Moore a lot tonight. They've used more. You like that, don't you?
I like that, more. Well, let's see if Jackson can capitalize with a little. That's a good first down play. And let's see if he'll go to the air here. It's still man-to-man coverage on all of the receivers. The safety is back up inside. In fact, the safety now has gone out to cover.
They just got everybody on the line.
Movement.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
I think that Alexander Wilson may have flinched out there in his wide receiver spot.
Yeah, he was probably excited because he knew he was going to get the ball and go for a touchdown on that.
Well, I hope he was. Let's see if they decide to throw it again. If the line can just give Jackson time, he can make these receivers can get open. They are as fast as these cornerbacks, and it's man-to-man.
Yeah, and like I said, I looked down there, and everybody on Western Branch was less than and the backfield was maybe a yard behind the line, and that was it. There was nobody back. Look at them.
I don't even know why they huddle. They stay together
They're all on the
time.
line. You got man-to-man. Get the quick slant. Come on. That time, Trey Jackson couldn't find
Out of bounds.
And I'm going to guess he was out of bounds.
Clock stop. You straight on your foot. I'll wait for you.
Apparently, we're going to be joined in the booth by the official. So Alan Denton, isn't it?
That's Mr. Alan Denton, Leroy Scoggins.
Well, Bruins are going the wrong way here after the turnover. They need to just let him stand back and throw it.
Yeah.
I think Wilson and Williams can run under one of these, and Sweetenberg is, one of those three guys has got to have the weaker cornerback. The safety is stepping up to cover a receiver man-to-man. DeQuan Lawrence out here on Sweetenberg. That's Addison over there on Williams.
We're out of the shotgun, so you know it's going to be in the air. Back goes the quarterback, and it's a short pass to Hudson underneath. He's trying to get back toward the line of scrimmage, and he's not going to pick up much, maybe a yard, and we've got 2 flags on the play.
And we can only hope that that's a penalty against Western Branch, because that was a horrible series for Bethel.
Here you see Jackson back to pass. He's getting a hard rush, but it was a screen pass to Hudson. Hudson just had too many Western Branch players there.
You know, that's what it looked like.
5-yard face mask on the defense. 5 yards from the end of the run. Still third down.
Well, they get another down out of that. If not 15 yards, they get another down. And that looked like it was designed to be a screen pass, but it wasn't. It turned into one.
Yeah.
Hudson kind of turned around. The ball was in his hands. Jackson makes a nice throw. Let's see if he can make another one right here. He needs 10 yards for the first down.
Yeah, again, they've got to give Jackson some time.
I know Ricky Walker and his crew are saying, I got 5 guys. They've got 9.
Yes.
We've got to stick closer together. The Texas Tech spread and line isn't going to work here.
Well, everybody's coming. They're doing a quick pass. Hudson again, but he's not going to get much on that one either, as there are plenty of Western Branch defenders.
Brandon Addison, 6'1", 160-pound cornerback, but he is all over the field, and he's as quick as anybody. Hudson very fast, throws a nice fake, and yet Addison able to get his hand on his thigh and slow him down. Bethel's going to have to punt.
Alexander Wilson back to punt for Bethel. Back deep, looks like number 15 for Western Branch, and that is T.J. Booth. Booth will take the kick on the 20-yard line, and he'll down it right there. The ball almost got away from him.
Yeah, I think he may have been on his knees praying he didn't drop it. Well, the good news is Bethel stopped the drive.
Yes.
The field position has switched back in Bethel's favor, so that they can capitalize this. This is really just a one-score more game for Bethel.
Yeah, one possession, and this game will belong to Bethel. They just need to make sure their defense can stop that powerful Western Branch running game.
The only tough part is that defense has been out there a lot.
Yes, they have. Packed in again, Western Branch. C.J. Thomas gives it to number 22, 28. Dante Shepard. No, that was number 22.
Wasn't the tackle there by Bethel's number 24. And that's Hasiel Graves, who's seen some time. And Hasiel, who's been in and out of this lineup this season, is back in there now. The first night we saw Hasiel, he was terrific from his linebacker spot. And that time they put him in, and he got through that line and was able to make the tackle.
Uh-oh, what do we got here? A quick flag.
That's a big decision right there by Coach Hooker. Hasiel Graves had been in and out of the lineup this year for the Bruins. The first time we saw him, he was instrumental in defeating Hampton. And now he's back in that linebacker spot, and that's the first time that we've seen a linebacker for the Bruins, the Bethel Bruins, step in and grab Mariner from behind his blocker.
There is no flag on the play.
Of course, we say it sure looked like a flag, but
yeah.
But Hasiel Graves in now at 5'10", 214-pound linebacker, senior.
Let's hope that's a harbinger of things to come.
Well, it signals a little change in defense, and that one worked beautifully. There's Hasiel right on this left end.
Oh, we got a different look from him. They get a flip to Mariner in the backfield, and he'll try to get around. And look at it, you can't stop him. He just keeps going.
They're going to have to wrap him up. There's a lot of Bethel Bruins sliding down his legs. Maybe want to check him for grease.
Man.
Because they slid right off of him. He's actually hit behind the line, right there at the line.
Look.
Casey Pretlow had a shot at him.
This kid is just, I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Paris is back out there, Stephon Paris, and he's on the right linebacker spot. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. My goodness, that was a fast quarter.
Yes, it was. Well, there are no penalties. Not many passing plays. It was all run, run, run. So we're looking at a 20-14 ball game here at Darling Stadium on November the 10th, 2012. It's playoff time.
We'll see what Bob Hintz may have seen in that quarter. Bob, it was a fast quarter. What'd you see?
I'm going to tell you guys, it was not only a fast quarter, but it's a hard-hitting quarter out there. They are doing some hitting out there, but you just cannot, as one person, you cannot bring down that number 22. That kid is just unbelievable. And Martin, I can see why UConn wants him,
Yes.
but he is so strong. Even when you hit him with the legs, you've got to wrap the legs up because he just keeps running and run right through tackles.
And
But the Bruins are hitting. They're not shying away.
Well, they're looking better in the second half. Now, Bob, you've been around for a long time. Are there any runners on the Peninsula District that you could compare Mariner with?
Antoine Womack.
Antoine Womack.
And Elon Lewis, that kind of a runner. They're both hard to bring down. They're very strong. Their thighs are huge. And, you press 600 pounds. And that's about 4 times on Bob Killen, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mariner with 20 carries, 135 yards so far. We have him actually in the booth at 21 carries and 142. Whatever it is, it's lots of carries. That time, number 15.
Yeah, T.J. Booth looked like he was at the quarterback position, and they were running out of a regular spread offense. They disdained the wing T that time. That'll bring up 4th down, and looks like Western Branch is going to have to give it back to Bethel.
Well, Paul, we were noticing some new linebackers in. Stephon Paris came back in, but it was Javon King that had come out with a shoulder pull. I saw him out here stretching his shoulder. That's why Graves was in, and very well-timed substitution for Graves because he made a great tackle to slow this drive. Bruins need a bad snap. They don't get it.
But they do get a blocked punt, and Bethel is going to have great field position as they block the punt. We'll see where they mark it here, but it is going to be somewhere between the 15 and the 20, and Bethel gets a break.
And they've needed a break this entire game. As we mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, it's a one-play game, and that may be it right there.
Watch to see if you can find out who it is right there that blocked that punt. Bob, are you down near that blocked punt area?
Yeah, let me tell you.
Who blocked that?
I didn't see who blocked it. I was trying to get out of the way so I didn't get run over. But you noticed how tight they are on offense. You see how wide open they were that time on that kick? I mean, the Bethel came through there like there was pouring water through a sieve.
Well, let's see what they can do with the ball now. They give it to Hudson, and Hudson stumbles his way across the 15.
Hudson is having a fit tonight. I think it was Mark Maddox on the block, 54 for the Bruins. I seem to think it was Maddox coming from the end spot.
Looked like 3 yards on the play, 2nd and 7 with about 10:40 left in the game. Bethel trying to capitalize on this block punt. Trey Jackson at quarterback. Hudson in the backfield. Along with it looks like Blue. Blue's going to get the ball, number 7, and he is tied up as soon as he takes a step by the tough Western Branch Bruin defense.
K.J. Holland from his linebacker spot, the middle linebacker able to grab there. Now, that's the nice thing about it. We haven't heard K.J.'s name a lot. We talked about him in the pregame, but Bethel's been able to handle him. That time he steps in and grabs a hold of Blue and doesn't let him go. Picks him off the ground, going to carry him back the other way.
Yeah. I like what you said. It's a good thing we haven't heard his name a lot because I heard, I forget whether it was Bob or Brent that was talking to the coach earlier. He's got like 9 million tackles for the year.
Timeout. Bethel.
That's a good question whether he gets a solo tackle there. You know, we moved to the 4th quarter. We forgot a sponsor. I want to mention again all our sponsors. I want to thank them here. The Grey Goose, of course, the Smith Brothers Funeral Home, Tidewater Team Sports, Beach Hardware, Eric Thompson, the Realtor, and Kaufman & Knowles. We thank very much. And want to remind the fans of this, that if you don't get enough Bob Hintz here on Saturday Night Football, you can join Bob on Sports Time as he interviews coaches and athletes of past and present from Hampton City Schools. You can watch Bob and all of the shows on Cox Cable Channel 48 and Verizon 5's Channel 23. Sports Time, 7:30 a.m., 7:30 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So spend your early mornings with Bob Hintz.
Oh, do we have to? And you can join Bob. He's never asked me to join him on this program.
Bob, what do you say about that?
I'm looking for athletes.
Oh, thanks.
Paul, did you play anything?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
No,
well.
I played hooky once.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that first chance we get.
As Paul just mentioned, that's the last time we go down to Bob Henson.
Yeah. All right, third down and about 6. The Bethel Bruins on the, what does that look like, 14-yard line. Jackson under center. It looks like he's going to pass. He rolls out to the right. He's being chased out, and he's going to be brought down, gaining about a yard maybe.
And I have no idea who was supposed to even run the routes. Wilson and Williams are blocked up in the right side. There was no third receiver. I don't know if Swittenberg wasn't out, but Jackson had no place to go.
Nowhere. Now the decision here is: do you take? There's 9 minutes to go. Do you take 3 points because you're down by 6? 2 field goals can tie it up. But Bethel says no. We're not going to do that. We're going from the shotgun. Williams and Wilson at the top of your screen. Nobody down here at the bottom of the screen. Jackson, the quarterback, in the middle. Jackson back to pass. He's looking for Wilson or Williams, and he throws it on the ground.
That was not a very good pass. The receiver was coming open. He had him coming open, and he just threw the ball to the ground. Just cold night, hadn't thrown the ball much, whatever it was. It was a horrible pass, and that's going to extinguish the Bethel's chances. You see Wilson coming across, and all he had to do was wait a second, and he had him open.
I don't know whether the ball came out of his hand, but even if it didn't, he was throwing well behind the runner who was cutting to the right.
Well, I'm gonna put the positive spin on it. Once again, the field position is shifted into Bethel's favor. Once again, they've got time. They need one play, and they haven't made the play yet, but they still have time to do so. And Javon King comes off. Hasiel Graves in the ball game for the Bruins. I think they're going to stay with Hasiel.
C.J. Thomas gives the ball to Mariner off the right side, coming out of that packed wing tee. Bruins all over him, trying to keep him from getting anything.
That time, Casey Pretlow. In fact, Casey Pretlow grabbed him and held on long enough to get some help. Yeah. They are running away from Graves, and I don't blame them. They may switch Graves on that to the left side because he's big enough. At 214, he's big enough to stand away and catch Mariner in full stride. And they do switch him to the left.
2nd and 5 for Western Branch. Once again out of that tight wing. This time he goes to the man in the back, and that looks like Mariner again. We'll have to make sure it's number 22. I think all the running backs is like 22, 20, and 28.
Well, Mariner's got so many gray stickers. That was Shepard, I think, that carried the ball. No, was it
22. It was Mariner again.
Both of them have almost perfectly gray helmets with all those award stickers. Good stop, though, by Corey Sweetenberg, who stepped that time from his cornerback spot. And the cornerbacks really don't have a lot to do other than come and make tackles. There's nobody to cover.
That's right. 3rd and 4, big play for the Bruins again. If they can hold them here, they'll get the ball in good field position again. Western Branch trying to make some changes. The Bruins defense shifts, and we've got some illegal movement here. And
as 2 of them shifted at one time, they'd all set. And he switched his tailback, and then the I guess they call him the tight end because nobody's a wide out in this team.
No.
Denton in his microphone.
There is no flag on the play. The player in question was a tight end.
Yeah, I thought it was a tight end that made his second shift. Again, I don't know why they have a huddle. They look like they stay together like that the whole time. They never get more than 5-6 yards from each other.
All right, here they come, 3rd and 4. Big hold here for the Bruins. They give it to Mariner. He's going to be close to the first down. We'll have to see where they give. If they give him where they're spotting it, you've got the first down.
Good spot for Western Branch. Good run. That's a tough run. But the Bethel, again, if he can limit him for 4 yards, that's a good thing. The Bruin caught him right there.
And the sad thing is, Frank, if you watch that replay, you had plenty of Bethel Bruins surround that corner edge, and it was the offensive line of Western Branch that just pushed the defenders out of the way to give Mariner that room to run. Again, Mariner hitting the line by a host of Bethel Bruins.
Now Bethel trying to rip the ball out if they can stand him up. Good tackle there by the Bruins.
Mariner's the guy that I tell you what, you just give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball.
That time Evan Scott in on the tackle along with Brian Moore. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the Bethel team to hold Mariner up so his teammates can get another grab on him. It looks like one of those end of the game plays where they're going to take a knee. They're so tight.
Going to the air this time, being pressured, and it's intercepted by the Bethel Bruins. And they're going to get the ball at about the 25-yard line with 6:21 left in the game.
Casey Pretlow and the Bruin cornerbacks and defenders are able to read C.J. Thomas's eyes. That's twice now in 2 possessions when they've been able to. They're looking right at him. Look at Pretlow. He sees the ball coming, picks it off, and if he'd stayed on his feet, he could have maybe scored on touchdown since Western Branch was moving the other way. So Bethel with yet another chance to make the one play.
Yes.
And if they can make it and move ahead of this game, the defense is starting to pick up the stride on this double wing.
Yeah, we kept saying that they need that one play. Well, the defense keeps making that one play. Now they need the offense to make that one play.
Jackson's got to come through here.
Well, here he is with 2 receivers up at the top. They're going to give it to Moore right through the middle of the line. He tries to bounce out, and he's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
And that's a bad spot. I don't understand. I've seen Mariner get the spot where his forward progress pushes him a yard or 2 up, and then he tries to go sideways, and they give him forward progress. They didn't give it here.
Yeah, because
he was up to the 25.
Yes, he was. Wasn't any question about that. So
it's going to take a good catch. I'd go to Alexander Wilson. I'd go to Jesse Williams, and I'd go to Corey Sweetenberg. And let's see if Bethel can get this touchdown.
Well, it's going to have to be a quick one here. They're going out of the shotgun, so it's obviously going to be, or I shouldn't say obviously, but you think it's going to be a pass. It's going to be a quick one. He's open. Sweetenberg. He's got some room up the middle, and they got into the end zone. Touchdown, Bethel Bruins!
And the Bruins do what we've been hoping to do all night. Sweetenberg just down and in, wide open, and then makes a great run in for the touchdown. Corey Sweetenberg, what a senior game he's having.
And my partner, Frank Edgar, has been over here all night telling him to do this. There's your speed right there. There's the catch, the slant, everything worked. Bethel Bruins have taken advantage. Here's the extra point. It's up, and it is good. And the Bethel Bruins, with 5:30 left in the game, have taken a lead of 21-20. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere.
Well, now we're going to see what if the defense really does have a read on this double wing. Because remember one thing about the double wing, it takes a lot of time, and they've got 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. And it's going to take them a long time with that double wing, 4 yards a game. So Bethel's defense is going to have to get back on the field where they've spent the entire game. What a nice play. What a nice move by Sweetenberg. Nice pass by Jackson. The line is starting to tighten up a little bit. Let's see if the defense can come through for the Bruins. Let's go down to Bob. He saw that play up close and personal.
Hey, up close and personal. I've been saying all night to the people on the sideline, they need to go over the middle because it's wide open. They don't have a safety. Sweetenberg's the man who, once he catches the ball, he's hard to stop because he's got great speed. He used some of those moves he uses on the basketball court. Had no problem getting in the end zone. Awesome play by the Bruins.
Yes, it was.
Bethel Bruins.
Yes.
That's Somerville, 25.
Somerville takes it along the sideline. He'll scamper out near the 35-yard line where the Western Branch Bruins will now take control of the ball with 5:26 left in the game at Darling Stadium. You're watching LSC on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. You can also watch us on the internet. All you got to do is go to the Hampton City Schools site, click on WHCS logo. That'll take you to our page. Then click on the LSC logo that's flashing. A drop-down screen will come up, and there you can watch us right there. Click the little button. You can watch it full screen.
All right, let's see if the Bruins can hold and let the time run. There's Mariner with the ball. He had to go in the middle.
Good hold by the Bethel defense that time.
And the clock ticks, and Ricky Walker right there at his feet. And that's a great stop. The left end broke through to at least cause some impediment. And that gives Walker a chance to dive into the feet. You see Walker right there.
Boom. And Walker's the type of guy that can just change a game for you real quick.
The left linebacker now, on the left one, is Hasiel Graves, and he's played strong out there. They run away from him this time. Pretlow on the tackle.
Thomas to number 22.
Pretlow looked like Mariners' backpack that time.
Yep. That was number 28 for the Western Branch team, Dante Shepard.
He's down with the helmet off. I hope he's all right. He's had a great ball game, as he has all year long.
Yep.
Pretlow jumped on his back and was able to ride him down.
Nice pickup by the Western Branch team. I was hoping Bethel could stop him and leave them with a 3rd and long. I don't like it when it's a 3rd and short, and I'm sure neither does Coach Hooker or the Bethel team.
And Western Branch been able to pick those 4 yards up pretty regularly.
Yeah, we don't want them to do that this time, though.
There's been a difference with the defense. They've had a couple personnel changes, mainly due to some injuries. I've seen King pulling, he's back in now, but I've seen him pulling on his shoulder. I think trying to grab hold of Mariner, if you're not square to him, you can get hurt trying to drag him down with one arm, and that's what's going on. Yeah, Shepard going off, limping on that knee. I hate to see that. Left leg. What a fine ball game he's had. We had him down through the 3rd quarter with 27 yards on 9 carries, but what he does is he goes the opposite way and really makes it tough to figure out who's going to carry the ball.
Yeah, and he does more. I mean, it sounds almost ridiculous when you say he's got 27 yards, but what he's done is just given the running back Mariner a breather.
All right, now we notice the clock starts now that because of the injury stop the clock. Now it starts again. The Western Branch has used a minute already on 2 plays. And that's really going to be the downside. Look at the tight end for the first time in his life, I think, is out here but he's more than 5 yards from the center.
Yeah, they've spread out this time, and they're pitching to the outside, and they're giving it to Mariner, and he's got the crease on the outside. He's to the 50-half field, and he's going to be brought down inside Bethel territory as he gets close to the Bethel 45. That was a quick pitch to the outside, opening up Mariner to some field area that he could use his speed.
I want to see this block out here on the left side. It was a good block if it's not a hold. And they just blocked themselves. Yeah, that's Somerville with the block, and he did a nice job causing the Bethel Bruins to bump into each other and knock each other down, giving Mariner an additional 10 yards.
With under 4 minutes to play now, this Bethel Bruin defense has really got to stack it up. Spread out this time. The pitch goes to Mariner on the other side. He's getting out to the corner, and he slips a tackle, slips another, and he picks up about 5 yards when he was hit in the backfield.
Well, the player of this drive so far is Somerville, number 25 for Western Branch. Eugene Somerville, a 5'9", 150-pound junior. I don't think they weighed him before he ate because that kid playing much bigger. But he blocked on the first down run. He blocked Hasiel Graves, who stepped in beautifully that time but got blocked off. And Bethel's going to call timeout here. Second timeout taken by the Bethel Bruins. You see here, Hasiel steps up, but just enough block by Somerville to keep Hasiel from cutting off Mariner.
And then Mariner does the rest of it himself as he's as slippery as an eel out there. I don't know how else to say it. The young man is just a really prolific runner.
Baby powder on the hands or something. I don't know. He's that kind of runner. I mean, you don't have 1,900 yards in 10 games for nothing. 27 carries, 174 yards for Mariner. And of course, Brent Musgrove has calculated the per carry yardage right off the top of his head, I'm sure. He says 7. He's probably close. He's almost right on it.
Bob, if you're there.
I got it, guys.
The defense for the Bruins, are they tiring out yet, or are they still holding up?
Both teams are tired, but you notice they put the big tight end Hancock out here to split him out, and then he sealed the run so that Mariner could get outside. But Mariner's just running harder and harder as the game goes on. He doesn't get tired.
Clock stops for the first down, but that's the only time it's going to stop. We're under 4 minutes now, 3:40.
Yep, that time, once again, Mariner off that right side, just following those blockers and picking up yards after yards after yards after yards. Another first down for Western Branch.
Run clock run is what Bethel's chant right now.
Mariner again off that right side again. The Bruins trying to gang tackle him. Looks like he'll pick up a yard, maybe two.
That's a generous spot, but nonetheless, yeah, a yard. That's a good stop, and the clock keeps running, and that's important for Bethel.
Yes. It'll be under 3 minutes when this next play goes off.
Get another hole right here, another 1 yard gain or less.
Defense is key right here. C.J. Thomas turns around, gives it to number 25. That is Somerville. He slips, and Bethel is able to bring him down after maybe a yard.
The tackle out there by number 58, Stephen Dow, 5'9", 180-pounder. Watch Dow step in, recognizes that despite the hold of 55, Dow able to slip off the hold and make the play. It's not a flag coming out of the pocket here against Western Branch.
Third and
gonna have to hold on.
For Western Branch, a hold here is what they're going to pass. Back goes the quarterback. He's looking downfield. He has a wide open receiver at the 20-yard line, and that is number 15, T.J. Booth. Wide open in the middle of the field.
CJ to TJ. That's that third down play. We've lamented the whole first half. They've been able to stop it here in the second, but they do it there. They get the play. Let's see if they can hold on. Almost 2 minutes here left.
Back to the running game. It looks like it's going to go to Mariner again, and he hops over the right side again. He loves that side. Picks up about 2 yards.
Now, they're in field goal range now, but, you know, we haven't seen much out of the kicking game. In fact, we talked to one of the young assistant coaches of the Western Branch Bruins who said the kicking game had not been challenged and not been relied on at all. So I know Western Branch wants to run it down and get a touchdown here.
C.J. Thomas from the quarterback position. He slips it to number 25, Somerville, who once again gets another yard or two before he's tripped up. It'll be third down and long.
Good tackle by Ricky Walker that time. Again, the clock running. Western Branch with 2 timeouts. They're going to save one certainly for a field goal try. Bethel defense holding as best it can here against a very strong double wing offense.
A turnover to the Bethel Bruins would be real nice right about now. C.J. Thomas under center. They're in the spread formation. He goes back to pass. He's looking downfield. He's getting pressed. He finds a receiver short and hits him at about the 12-yard line. It'll be short of the first down, but it'll put him ever so close.
And we're going to see, I think they're
going to go for it. I think they'll go for it.
Well, let's see. 4th and 2. Bethel can hold here, but let's see. Defense, they are going to kick.
And it's number, I'm trying to find the number of the kicker. Can you see the number?
30-yard kick. I think it's 12. Is it 12, Forrest Bailey? No, it's 35. Let's see.
Low snap. The kick is up. It's got plenty of distance. It looks good from here. It is good. And Western Branch goes up by a score of 23-21.
Well, you can hear up here in the booth, the coach is very excited about that. That's number 32, Brady Schomburg. Senior 5'7", 145-pounder, just booted it through with ease from the 20-yard line. 30-yard field goal puts Western Branch ahead by 2. 46 seconds left for the Bruins. So there is time, and given this nature of the defense, there's plenty of time for Bethel. They're just going to have to be smart, throw a couple sharp passes, watch the time. No, only 1 timeout left for Bethel.
Yeah, they're going to need good positioning on the kickoff. I don't think you're going to see Western Branch try and kick it short. They don't want to put Bethel any closer than they have to, so they'll kick it deep. You're going to need a good return, and then they're going to have to do what they haven't done all night long, and that's go up top.
You got Killebrew back there. You've got Pretlow back there. for the Bethel Bruins. Let's see if one of them, and they got Hoseo Graves, who's lined up now in the second level, and they're going to hope to get behind Hoseo and let him clear the road.
Well, we've seen Killebrew take back several kickoffs during the year for 20, 30, 40 yards. So if he can get a good start and a couple of blocks, he can give them good field position. So let's see what happens.
Another senior kicker, Forrest Bally, is going to kick off. We saw him pregame kicking the ball pretty deep. I imagine you'll see him kick it as far as he possibly can here. Bethel's going to have a good return.
It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Stay there in your seats. 46 seconds left in the game here at Darling. Bethel Bruins down by 2 points. Here comes the kick. And it's going to be short.
That's Brian Moore's got it.
And Brian Moore will get it out to about the 30-yard line with 41 seconds left in this game.
They got to go 70 yards, Paul, in 41 seconds. They do have the receivers who can do it. Let's see. Bob.
Hey, guys, they've got to pass the ball over the middle. I know that's a bad place to do it. You can't stop the clock, but you can pick up the first down. You can stop the clock. If you remember when Brent and I talked before the game, we said this was going to be a close game. I didn't realize how close it was going to be. What a great game by two teams named Bruin.
Yes, it is.
Player of the games, Paul and Bob. I'll give you my vote. Corey Sweetenberg for the Bethel Bruins. Josh
you
Mariners.
got mine. That's Corey's the one I'd pick.
Yep.
And then, okay.
Either Corey or Ricky Walker.
All right, here we go. Three receivers, for Trey Jackson.
Jackson out of the shotgun. They can look for something short across the middle, or they can look for something deep. He's going outside, and that will be thrown out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 with 36 seconds to go.
I think the Bruins are going to have to have another receiver to curl inside. It's going to have to be Turner Paxton, somebody, because Corey Sweetenberg had two men on him on the left side as he came to the middle. If they had Paxton able to curl to the left, and he could have caught the ball, gotten the first down, gotten out of bounds.
Just work it down that field and get your field goal kicker in range.
Now this is the ball game. 3 receivers right, and one receiver runs off. Williams is off.
Out of the shotgun, Trey Jackson, number 2, the quarterback. Give him some time. Oh, the blitz is on, and he's going to get smacked, and he loses the ball. And it's picked up by Bethel. Will keep it, but that's a big sack.
There'll be a timeout called by the Bruins there after 6 seconds of confusion. Jackson just got it knocked out of his hands. Big number 55 picked it up for the Bruins. That's Javon Smith doing his best to grab hold of it.
Yeah, Terrence Ricks, nobody said hello to him at all.
Well, this is not going the way the Bethel Bruins wanted to go, but again, let's see if they can get that one play over the middle. He's going to have to get a quick hit. They're going to have to do something out here like a pass out to the wide out, and they have a good block from the other wide out and try to free him up for 30 yards. 21 seconds. They got time for about 2 plays. They do have, no timeouts now for
No
Paul.
timeouts now, so they're going to have to, like I said, they're going to have to go down the sideline and get it out of bounds quickly, and then just hope they can get one where somebody can get loose and take it. They may have to do the old hook and ladder.
Yeah, Bethel's played a great game so far. The things that Coach Hooker is going to wake up for the next 6 months with nightmares about 3rd down and 8 or 4th down and 8 and passes over the middle. We've seen it 3 times I can recall that just killed Bethel tonight. Let's see if they can surprise here. For the first time probably all season, Western Branch is spread out further than 6 yards across.
They are in a prevent defense. 21 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen. The Bethel Bruins down by 2, 23-21, and we're going to get a flag.
And another flag on Bethel for maybe the center moved the ball.
That's really going to hurt. That's going to put him back near the 10.
Well, it makes the heroics here even better, Paul, if you can make the 90-yard throw. let's see. Keep hope alive, right?
Yes, keep the positive sentiment coming.
Well, they got 4 receivers, 3 deep.
Jackson gets the snap once again. They're coming in off that right end, and nobody's blocking him. Hudson trying to get out of bounds. He will with about 13. The clock's still going.
Jihad Hudson is taking pretty much the brunt of the physical nature of Western Branch tonight. He has been hit basically every which way he could be tonight. That time leaped up to try to get out of bounds, and the defender caught him mid-waist and slammed him like he was in championship wrestling. Ric Flair would be proud of that tackle. And Hudson, a lot of fight in that young man. Not enough strength to get down the field. Not enough time here. 11 seconds left. Going to need a little Hail Mary right here.
And speaking of time, note that not that it matters, but there were 13 seconds when he was out of bounds, and the clock kept running and down to 11, but 2 seconds is not going to make that much of a difference. On what's probably going to be maybe the last play, looks like Jackson is firing it down the left-hand side, putting it up for grabs. It's caught.
First down, clock stops. It's first down, clock stopped.
We're going to have 3 seconds, just time enough for a Hail Mary pass, folks. So here it comes as Trey Jackson connects to Alexander Wilson.
Good play by Jackson as he spikes the ball. So now they're going to be able to set it up. All he needs is 57 yards, Paul. And 2 seconds to go. Timeout taken by Western Branch as they figure out how to play defense further than 6 yards apart. I mean, I get the impression the offense came over here in a van. They don't like to be too far apart in a bus. But now that you spread them out, and Wilson able to work his way through there and pick up the pass and the first down.
Bob, you've been around coaching for a long time. You've got 2 seconds. You've got about 57 yards to travel. These kids can't throw it way down there. Do you hook and ladder? Do you go outside? What do you do?
Well, you just read my mind because I was thinking hook and ladder. You know, but the only thing you can do is it's a Hail Mary type of thing. You just got to hope that you can get somebody that can avoid the tacklers after catching the ball. But, you know, when you got 2 seconds, you don't have a whole lot of options.
No, you really don't.
Why the hell is it back up there? Hey, they got trips over here.
All right, everybody that's eligible is going to be ready for the Bethel Bruins. Brian Moore will stay back to help block.
Somebody's got to block Ricks. He's got an invitation to the backfield each of the last 5 plays.
Trey Jackson looking. Here goes the Hail Mary. He's got 3 people down there, but most of them are Western Branch defenders, and that's going to end the ball game.
Just off the fingertips of our player of the game, Corey Sweetenberg. Not able to come up with that one. He's done everything else tonight. He's consoled down there by his coach. The senior goes out with a tough 23-21 loss.
I'll tell you what.
Well, of all the games, Paul, of all 8 games played in Division 5 and Division 6 here in the Eastern region, that has been the best ball game we've seen. And it just unfortunate Bethel comes up on the short end of that.
It really is. I mean, I just feel heartbroken right at the moment because they played a super game. Corey Sweetenberg, player of the game for the Bethel Bruins, for the tremendous job he did today. All the guys played well. Trey Jackson, Jihad Hudson, Justin Blue, Brian Moore, Alexander Wilson. We could just go on and on and on and on.
Well, let me add a comment. We started this season with Bethel Hampton, and we talked about Coach Bubba Hooker and what he's instilled at Bethel. And I think when they get through the disappointment of tonight, they have got to hold their heads up and say, you know what, the Bethel Bruins played a great 2012 season, and we're 2 points or 3 points from going on to the next playoff level. So I think they can hold their heads up and say, this is just a start. This is where we begin for next year. This is the kind of game that will get these guys in the weight room on their own all year long.
I've got to agree with you 100% because they've done so well this year in adjusting to the system of Coach Hooker's. And like we were talking and you were pointing it out earlier in the game, who did Bethel lose to this year?
Lost to Phoebus.
And what's Phoebus's record?
They're 11-0.
And who else did they lose
Lake
to?
Taylor.
And their record is?
11-0.
Okay, and then they lose this game here by 2 points.
That's 9-2 team.
Man, what a turnaround for the Bethel Bruins. What a great future they've got coming up.
Well, we've had a great year following Bethel, and I want to thank our crew here that makes all of this possible. Our production crew on the cameras, Wube Gabre and Lloyd McKenzie up here on the high cameras, Randy Bagoli and Steve Fryer on the field. Our graphics and animation done by Andy Foley. Slow motion instant replay, Krista Campbell. The camera control operator, Renee Camden. Chief engineer is Don Scharouse. Our audio engineer, Greg Lesko. The director producer is Don Scharouse. And, of course, down on the field, Bob Hintz up here doing our stats, Brent Musgrove. Paul Rowe and I really appreciate all the support we get from that great crew.
And the sponsors who help us all year long. We really enjoy them, too, especially their help with bringing you these games.
Well, I hope everybody will patronize the sponsors here in Hampton. It's a great community. We have 3 teams in the playoff. 3 of our 4 high schools make the playoffs. I know there's not another city that can say that, and I'm very proud of the Bethel Bruins. I know my wife, who graduated in 1986 from Bethel, and I don't like to admit that to some of my Hampton friends. I want to tell you, she can be very proud of her alma mater tonight. They are on the path, Paul, and we're going to see the Bethel Bruins back in some of their glory years as we've seen them in the past.
I agree with you 100%, because when they showed us in the first game what they could do against Hampton, it kind of surprised us, and then they just got better all year long.
It really did.
Culminating with this game here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching LSC, local sports channel, bringing you the playoff game in Division 6 between the Bethel Bruins and the Western Branch Bruins. The final score, Western Branch 23, Bethel 21. From Darling Stadium, I'm Paul Rowe along with Frank Edgar. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Today's game was sponsored by the Grey Goose Restaurant, located on West Queensway in Hampton. Enjoy a wide selection of breakfast and lunch dishes, sure to please your appetite. Follow the Grey Goose Restaurant on Facebook, the restaurant that is also a bakery. Smith Brothers Funeral Home of Hampton is located in Phoebus, has been serving the community since 1862. Smith Brothers are here to serve your needs. The funeral director is Andrew T. Smith, Jr. Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point, Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports is your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. Today's game was sponsored in part by the attorneys at Kaufman & Knowles, with offices in Hampton on Cunningham Drive across from Peninsula Town Center and in Newport News at City Center. Kaufman & Knowles. We can and we will. Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buck Row Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home inside and out. Eric Thompson Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3172 or email him at eric@findhrhomes.com.